if you can manage to mix that somehow.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd be interested. I think it'd be funny.
Make a sick beat out of it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hate like the 20-second delay that the streams have.
Yeah, someday we'll have internet speed where everyone just kind of instantly.
All the audio is good.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. So today, we have another awesome voice actor joining us for this podcast episode. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. Just jump right into it really quickly. So
sure.
Please take it away.
Hi, my name is Travis Mullenix. I'm a voice actor out of Dallas, Texas, voicing for various anime. Specifically, in the interest of this group, I voiced Nijiro Nanase in Blue Lock, but I also play characters like Buffalo in One Piece, Rentaro Aijo in 100 Girlfriends That Really, 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 Really Love You, Haruka Yamauchi in Classroom of the Elite, bunch of other things over the years, but those are the big ones. But today we're here to talk about my new soccer boy from some southern place he's from, which I don't think they've named yet, but we'll see. But hi, good to hear from you all.
As always, I'm joined with Ravin, so we're just going to be doing kind of what we did last time, ask some questions, and then get into a fun game show that, everyone will enjoy. Ravin, you want to take it away with the first question?
Yep.
If I get distracted by my cat, forgive me. It just wants their attention right now, which is perfect timing.
No, it's fine. I trust me. I have a little kitten too, and he's a huge pain, but we love him.
Oh, mine is my cat recognizes when I'm on my computer. That's exactly when it's like I want the attention the most.
My cat is like goes in and out in between my legs whenever like wants my attention. Just basically walking all over the place.
That's cats for you.
Yeah. It's dumb specifically. Dumb cats are much more affectionate.
Oh yeah, they're the best. I honestly, same thing applies to dogs. I like dumb dogs for some reason. Like when they talk about that terriers are smarter than average, I'm like, but I don't want them to be that way. I want them to be like empty-brained golden retrievers. Those are like the perfect dogs.
Yeah, exactly. It's no fun. It's no fun if you have dumb, if you don't have dumb animals, because then they do dumb things and you get to record it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you don't have to try to outthink your pet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Anyway, for the first question, what originally drew you to voice acting? Was it a person, a show? What led you to this career?
That's the foundational point is a difficult question. Even though this is a pretty common question for voice actors, for me, I've been doing this a really long time. But as far as I can remember, I think the inspiration started with an article that I read in the newspaper. Like when I was young, I really didn't click with me that voice acting was a thing. Like even though I do things like watch cartoons and things like that, it never really clicked with me that there was a person behind the mic actually doing it as a profession. So when I found out about it, I started applying different things in my life that really fit into it. Like I was generally a performer. Like I liked making up little character voices whenever I played with my action figures or things like that. Or I was the kind of person that would listen to people's voices and try to get little notes from them. And a lot of what was applying to that seemed to work out in voiceover. When I found out in particular that anime itself was recorded maybe 15 minutes from where I was born. That really was that moment of, oh, this could be a reality of something I pursue. So my interest started leaning towards that kind of thing, watching different shows back in the mid 2000s. I'm pretty old. And from there, it just turned into this passion of learning as much as I can about the industry as quickly as I could, and doing as much little online free things for fun, which eventually led to me doing online things for money, which eventually led to me doing TV things for money and movies for money, and it just continues to grow from there. Like I never predicted it would go this far, but now that I'm invested, I'm in, and it's been such a fun and fulfilling experience to be involved. I know that was relatively vague, but if you want to speak like maybe to specific, I would say cartoons that like, or at least voiceover stuff that really got me into it. Probably one of the early ones was like Batman the Animated Series. When I was young, like just the amount of performance that was put in that kind of thing. watching animes when I started growing up, things like Yu Yu Hakusho, Full Metal Alchemist, got a number of shows, Trigun, uh, shows like that. That was really the moment of like, wow, this is something that I can do. And my voice range always kind of naturally landed that way anyway, so I'm a perfect fit. Let's see if this
Yeah.
works out. And it did, which is awesome.
All right. Thank you very much for that answer.
So
I know again, it started kind of vague and all over the place, but it still counts.
yeah, I mean, there's no wrong answers. I mean, it's about your life. Like,
the wrong answer is completely going and answering a completely different question.
Yeah,
that's fair. Well, I really like spaghetti and meatballs. And you're like, what?
How did they get? What are my thoughts on construction? You know,
It's noisy. It's kind of cool. They're like Transformers you see every day. No, that's fine.
Speaking of Transformers, that new Transformer movie.
Oh, I've been meaning to see that. It looks great.
The marketing was horrible though. I've heard such good things, but I heard the marketing was terrible.
It's the same thing that affected Spider-Verse. Like at a certain point until the second movie came out, like they didn't know what good thing they had until it was out and people loved it. But compared to like the normal Spider-Man movies, it certainly did not get the same marketing, despite the fact that it was amazing.
Yeah.
It's the animated curse. People still believe that animation is purely for kids, and at this point, you know, decades in, you'd think they'd figure it out, but they haven't.
It's especially like true nowadays. You see cartoons like Bluey, which are like primarily leaning towards like really young children, like kids, but people enjoy Bluey as adults, and of course, they do reach out to adults in terms of relatable stories.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're shifting that way, because there was that certain era of cartoons where they kind of went back to being like, let's just make it as stupid as possible because that's what kids enjoy. And when I grew up with cartoons, like a part of it was it had to appeal to me, but it also had to appeal to the parents that were having to watch it with the kids. That's why things like Animaniacs sticks in my brain so much as a kid, where it's at this point you can watch clips now and it's still hilarious.
Yeah.
Sure. Definitely.
Like a show like that sticks out to me is like the 2003 to like 2006, any kind of releases around then, like shows like Pokemon, like the early animation of Pokemon. Then you had like Ben 10, and then you had like anything on like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon. Those shows, like, even now, are some of like even the most enjoyable. Like I'll rewatch the Pokemon anime if I have nothing to watch, because like even though it's made for a kid, it's still such a good show. And
and I think about sometimes how much the dub, especially for things like Pokemon, affected it. Especially affected when I think of shows like Yu-Gi-Oh. I took an opportunity to like sit down and watch, because Crunchyroll has Yu-Gi-Oh in both Japanese and English. And maybe this is just uniquely me, but like when I was watching those old episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh, I thought, man, in the Japanese, this is pretty boring. Like it's pretty straightforward. And something about a little of the weird details and offshoots and sense of humor that sometimes the 4Kids added to it actually had its appeal. That's why, despite the fact that people make fun of 4Kids dubs, people still talk about things like Pokemon fondly, which is a 4Kids dub. So like shows like that, especially if it's like kid centric or humor centric, like that adds a lot of appeal, I think.
Yeah. All right, so following the like what drew you to voice acting, what drew you to Blue Lock? How did you get the role of Nanase? Were you did you audition? Were you recommended? How did you get into this show?
So I watching at least season 1 when it came out, like it was one of those things that I have a love for sports anime that I've grown up watching. And at first, like when I was seeing things about it, like first impressions, when it was talking about things like ego and things like that in the first episodes, I was like, this is a weird show. I don't know what this is about. But more that I saw the groundswell of people's interest in watching it, and some of the clips and pictures I saw of these like almost extreme shonen-esque, high detailed things really added an appeal to it. So like as soon as season 2 came around and there's this whole new plethora of characters available, like I wanted to jump in and audition. And I auditioned for quite a few characters, including people in U20. I even auditioned for things like Hiyori and a number of people like that, just to see how many different characters I can fit. It was asked at that point if you're able to do some kind of Southern accent to represent that you're kind of Kansai based. Give it a shot. If not, it doesn't work. We're fine you not doing it. But uh, I gave the audition that I had with a number of characters, including Hiyori with a Southern accent, just kind of changed them up. Um, and lo and behold, I get an email for this headbanded boy of just going, "Hey, we loved what you did for it. You have this youthful spirit, this shonen energy, and we like the fact that you're able to add a relatively natural accent, which isn't hard for me. This is the accent that I hear nearly every day." Um, so getting into that was a lot of fun. Now the challenge was once I was in trying to figure out a way to say a lot of Japanese words while also maintaining a Texas accent, um, which is a fun challenge. Accents
Mhm.
tend to change things up. But luckily, I did have experience doing that with another anime that I worked on where I had to do a Minnesota accent saying Japanese words. That was even tougher because that wasn't my natural accent. Um, but yeah, I mean, getting back to the subject, at least on Blue Lock, like now that I've been in like cast in it, I took the opportunity of going like, well, I better watch what I'm in so I get a better idea what the show's about and I get character names and motivations. And man, I finished all of season one in one sitting. I was invested. I was getting chills on some of the big moments and things like that. So they have a fan out of me, and now that I've joined the cast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Season one's especially memorable for me because, of course, I got into the anime first, then the manga.
Mhm.
But the anime took me by absolute surprise and hooked me because of its concept, its core concept of not being a more team influenced sports anime. Of course, it takes that sort of divergence. You may think like, oh, it's a sports anime, but they instantly start playing in a team. But it's about like learning to coexist as every individual is preferred position is not being a defender, midfielder. It's all about being a striker. So I found that aspect extremely intriguing.
Well, it's that
And
classic thing that a lot of anime do, where like by episode one, they kind of want that initial shock value. So like in Blue Lock, like it's easy to assume after watching the first episode that there's just going to be a clawing and scratching to be the number one egoist, which is a part of it. But like when the show breaks down, you start realizing that it's like ego is kind of leading more into the ideas of self belief that you know innately you know that you're the best, but in a term it tends to aid a lot into working with a team. Like there are characters in the series like Burū, which is, you know, his storyline, it builds into like, well, he is pure ego. He thinks he's the king, but like it eventually gets to the point where you realize, oh, well, that's not necessarily working for him. Now he's too selfish. So it's like not even just ego on its own, but like functional ego that makes you a better person, or at least even just in this case a better striker. So I like that it goes that way. It's a lot more motivational than maybe the first episode insinuated, because the first episode made it kind of the idea of like, oh, your selfishness is what does it, but it's no, it's self-belief based on egoism, which I think is cool.
mm-hmm.
Ravin, you got one?
Yeah, so okay. Our next question, diving more into that Blue Lock relation. So from characters that you've seen in the series, which is your favorite weapon slash ability?
Huh. Let me think. I mean, there's a number of ones that I do really like so far. Because right now, like, I guess I should set the scene for this is that I am not caught up on the manga. I've been keeping up anime to anime. That may change in the future. So based on the characters I've seen so far, comparatively, I think I mentioned Borrow before. I think one of the coolest ones I had was that kind of like intense, like red lightning effect where he just really becomes this. I like the shift from him kind of going to the next level. I don't remember what it's called, but that was one of the coolest ones.
Shot feints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do also really like, especially like I just watched the latest episode that came out in Japan. I like some of the tricks they did for Bachira during his juggling, like ball juggling sort of moments where like he's able to like do like these 360 spins on top of it to feint and things like that. I love those kind of technique stuff like that is really cool. So that's probably up there for
Yeah.
me too. And of course, any moment where I would say like big moments that definitely caused chills for me at that point were probably like um, I'm blanking really bad, but the red-haired character when he's kind of kicks into top speed is always something that gets me hyped too.
Chiggity.
Yeah, Chiguri. Is Chiguri is like the episode where he finally kind of gives his efforts. Probably the episode that really got me the most. Like, whew, really, the adrenaline started kicking in. So
Yeah.
fast characters like that I always think are the coolest. So he's a cool guy.
Gotcha.
Eris of the same opinion. His favorite character type is a fast and speedster characters.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Well,
he's
and it's
by
so
far
much
like-
into it's so much into what sports anime do that I really like, where they have usually sound cues that are over exaggerated, but they tend to represent a character. So, like one of my favorite sports anime all time is called Hajime no Ippo. It's a boxing anime, and whenever they do big moments of characters, the sound cues they use are exaggerated, but they almost represent the character. Like a certain character might sound like a jet engine winding up, or the revving of a motorcycle when he's about to throw a certain punch. In this case, like whenever Chigiri gets fast, like it almost sounds like a jet taking off, which obviously is not very realistic in sports, but like man, it adds so much to it, and I love it.
So good. Saying that you're only anime only, we recently got to see the reveal of the Blue Lock 11. If Nanase were to be put on the Blue Lock 11, what position do you think he would play in, and who do you think he would replace?
I think, if anything, his best skills seem to wrap around his ability to support other people and create plays. So, like off the ball plays, a lot of times what they end up calling it in the show, and someone who creates opportunities like that necessarily won't be the striker or anything like that. He's not going to like replace Reen by any chance, as cool as that would be. If anything, I imagine him kind of in a position like Karasu is in, where he's able to provide a certain amount of defense and also just being assisted support to the people that are actually scoring well. It seems like his strength at the moment is his ability to sync with certain players. And since Isagi is playing along with assisting striking, like if he was able to form a triangle with them, like they did for that pregame, I think that would end up being his best power. Plus, he seems to kind of have that Bachra quality of learning a lot by being around Isagi and possibly even Reen. So, yeah, I would say that.
It's not a bad pick. For me,
That's a really good answer.
Yeah, for me, I said that Atoya would be subbed out, and Bachara would be moved from the back left to the top right, and Nanase would take Bachara's position in the back left as the left wing back, just because how they have their formation, Karasu drops back, and then he can push up and help in those post plays. But
I could see at least Batra doing that, and then possibly swapping out Batra's position with Hiyori's, because Hiyori's just pass sense is so strong.
Yeah.
Because that's the unfortunate thing right now with Nanase is that even though he's good at passing, like he's not as good as Hiyori is at passing.
No.
So, and also we've seen that Hiyori is able to compete with people that are faster than him and still able to land his kicks in the right place. So for me, I think he would be a good idea for that position.
Yeah.
I think there is signs of indication that beyond passing, Nanase does have some balanced skill when it comes to defense. So I think either way would be great, but that's at least what I imagine.
Thank you.
All right. So next question. What were your first impressions of the first episode of season 2?
From what I was watching it, like it unfortunately was one of those things where the internet does get quite a bit of say before you end up seeing it. So it was one of those initially pop up as like animation has gone to the trash and things like that, and showing a lot of between clips and things like that. So it was one of those moments where I'm like, well, maybe it's not as bad as the internet is saying. What I did like about when I get into season 1 is it started introducing some characters that really intrigue me. So like Shido really intrigues me as a character just because like I love what they end up doing with his design. The choices on both voices in both Japanese and English are really, really good. Um, it was really getting a sense of all the characters that are now involved with Blue Lock was one of those moments where I went, and it clicked in reality where I'm like, even though some of these people have been considered average at this point, they're the ones who survived all the trials. Like you got to think every single one of these people survived trial 1, trial 2, and trial 3. So all of them are at a certain level of being great. So it really kind of gave me that sense that all these people are like truly good. There's no, well, there might be one exception, but for the most part, like everyone is killing it. I don't think I necessarily even have to point out the one where it's like, I'm surprised you're here kind of moment, but that's the sense of humor of it.
Oh yeah.
Of course, there's that one guy who's injured that is the running joke, apparently, that I'm learning about. He might be terrible, the Messi of Blue Lock. So, I kind of hope he gets the Buggy the Clown treatment in One Piece where he just keeps on failing upward. Those characters are always the best. Uh, but yeah, it was one of those things that the concept of actually playing soccer against this other group, the U20s, the expansion of that, I think makes the show a lot more interesting because the stakes go beyond just uh, kind of a King's Game-esque elimination challenge. Because at a certain point, it's one of those things that the story has worked hard for you to care about this group as a team. So eventually the idea of watching this person eliminate people gets a lot more nihilistic than I think this show is trying to portray. It's a lot cooler to see competition with a lot of new characters. So
Yeah.
the direction it's going, I like where it's going.
I gotcha.
Awesome.
So another question that I had is if you had to voice another character, like if no one else got casting, you got first pick as to which character you would want to voice. Who would you want to voice as yourself personally? Like, not saying you think that you could do a better job than one of the current voice actors, just you like, I want to voice this character if I had the option to.
Would it be cheat if I said Isagi? No. But honestly, if I was thinking about the different characters that I think potentially I could have a fit, I think I could probably do a decent Bachida. Just kind of in the voice range and it leaning into those kind of creepier, feathery notes of the way that he tends to portray himself. Also, just the intrigue of having a character who's just a little bit calmer and perceptive, but also a little bit weird, which I think is a lot very entertaining. So I mentioned like Hiyori was another option that when I saw the character, I'm like, oh, that's potentially something I can do. It's so funny that they picked Justin Briner for that because so often when I search through the internet, whenever I voice something, there's always a comment that's like, hey, look, Justin Briner's voicing this character when it's me. So I think that some people, there's a group in the internet that thinks that whenever I voice something, it's just Justin Briner doing it, which awesome. Justin's a cool guy, but we're different people, and I don't hear that.
Would you take that as a compliment?
Sure. Justin Briner is an incredible performer, and
Okay.
so like, and we've always got along really well. But I just think it's super funny that how many times I'll read something where, and it's the dub curse eventually that unless you're a really well, like I guess a household name in anime voiceover, like it's always easy to assume that that person is being played by someone you know. So I've just read a bunch of clips like, sometimes probably shouldn't read criticism of my voiceover, but I do anyway. It's natural. And more often than not, I'll see comments where they'll be like, he voiced in this. And it's different actors sometimes, but 90% of the time, that different actor is Justin Briner. Which makes it funny whenever we work shows together. I just think about that. But I've been voicing stuff with both like Justin Briner, Matt Shipman, and Clifford Chapin for over a decade at least, even before anime. So it's a real trip at this point that so many people that I grew with as a voice actor we're working together on projects now 10 plus years later. So happy to be doing it. And I think it's cool that I'm able to work with Rico as well. Like I've worked with Rico on a few occasions, but he's such a natural, charming and energetic performer. Like his his voice is so distinct for him, and it's one of those things that when you hear him perform, there's so much passion and heart in his performances. So it's really cool to work off of someone like that, and I'm really excited to see where that goes, depending on Nanase's effect on the series, which at this point I don't know, which is the fun surprise.
Gotcha.
All right. I of course I asked you this yesterday before the actual like interview. Well, in relation to it at least. Do you think Nanase is the perfect main character for a team-based football anime?
I think he is. I think most shows that work with that idea is like, as you mentioned, a lot of shows like that would have the idea of like working together with friends and gaining that camaraderie and things like that. And Nanase, as far as we can tell up to this point, is a kind-hearted person, or at the very least, he has enough charisma to pretty much get along with everybody. He sticks into that idea that a lot of sports anime do, where it's instead of picking the player that's the best to be the main character, they pick on the person who needs improvement. And they've established at this point that Nanase is someone that has, like, he's a mode of potential at this point. He has so much he can accomplish and areas he can grow into. So that's perfect for a show like that. Probably not a main character in this show, even though that would be super funny. I think once we know more about the character, maybe their motivation to do what they do, possibly. I like to imagine that he has some sort of heartbreaking backstory, like it seems like everyone else has. But yeah, I could see him. I think I mentioned yesterday where the funny thing about him and a lot of the things I talked about with the other castmates and director was he definitely feels like a refreshing concept in this show. And they pointed out, like, with so many kind of the tough, egoist, unfriendly personalities, you have this golden retriever show up that's like, let's get along with everybody. And it feels like he came out of a different anime entirely, a different sports anime, maybe just took the wrong turn down the hallway and ended up in Blue Lock. But I like that quality. It's a nice change of pace, and I think it'll be good for those moments where I think when you have a juxtaposition between his kindness to allow another character to be ego and even sort of evil, I guess, I think it'll be a good comparison. Like him being around Shido is perfect because you got someone who's so violent and chaotic, and then you have bright sunshine boy over here to change things up.
Yeah.
To go back to your question, though, yes, I think he should be the main character of Blue Lock. Like, I think he should eliminate both Isagi and Ravin somehow. I think that's his plan.
Oh yeah.
He's just doing the passive kind way of doing it, and then he's going to shift.
Yeah, I could.
You just gotta think he's gonna take a complete 180 on his character and then backstab everyone.
He's going to do that build trust exercise where everyone's going to eventually end up liking him. And then the fate of most of the players will be in his hands somehow. And they'll think, oh, well, it's Nanase. Like, he's going to save us. And that's when he, like, turns his thumb downwards and just sends them to hell and takes over and becomes the main striker. I mean, he says he wants to be a best soccer player in Japan. And I think he means it.
I got you. So I do have a short segment I want to do with you guys. I want to see your thoughts. So it's called This or That. I'm gonna present you with two characters from Blue Lock. You tell me which of them you would take over the other. So you can keep one. The other one basically gets erased.
Question, at least on that, are you referring to whether I'd keep them as a player in character or like in the story?
Kind of both. Mix of both. Like, would you want them if you were building a team? If you were building your own Blue Lock 11, would you want this player on the team, or would you want them to not participate at all?
Gotcha.
So the first one. Isagi or Rin?
I would say, of course, I had to start with the heavy hitters first thing. From a player standpoint, it makes a lot more sense to have someone like Isagi. Isagi is one of those people that seems to build up this idea that he has this innate ego to try to take over others, but he also has this willingness to work with his team. He has genuine, sincere, like, praise for his other players. So even though he's competing with them, like, he recognizes game recognizes game in a way. While I do find Rin intriguing, like he's eventually going to be one of those lone players that eventually, when other players get better than him, then whatever strength you end up seeing him have will fall to the wayside. He's too selfish in his goals, and he's also works too hard to push other people away. So I would say Isagi. Although Rin would be great, like it would be such an interesting twist for Isagi to drop out and Rin becomes the focus. Like I think that'd be cool in its own way.
Yeah, I got you. Following that, Burū or Kunigami?
You know, I do have a soft spot for Burū. I just think I just love the concept of this JoJo character showing up. But Kunigami, I mean, once again, like he's someone that I feel has a lot of potential. Beyond the one dimension of I am king, I am best. Like he's someone that has a lot of growth to do, but also has a lot of skill. Pretty much gets along with everyone, but also has some sort of hidden. It feels like there's something more to him that's not being revealed. So Kunigami, I would say.
Kunigami?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about Nagi or Reo?
So that I love these like good comparisons depending on the kind of players' similarities. So in this case, I mean, a lot of people would end up saying Nagi, and Nagi's probably the most intriguing of the two. Um, if I were to pick, functionally, I'm thinking as a functional adult, where it's like, Ray would be fine if he doesn't do the World Cup. He could become a singer. He could join any other sport that he wants, and he's going to be great at it. Nagi is the person at this point is just building his care to become a great soccer player, and he's clearly one of the most potentially talented players in the group. It'd be dumb not to pick Nagi. I mean, just seems like the right choice.
Gotcha. And then the last one, Bachira or Chigiri?
I would feel bad kicking out Chigiri, but it'd be hard not to represent with my boy Bachira because there's so much skill there. His ability, his interesting personality, but his also the way he syncs with other players is really solid. Like no matter who he plays with, he tends to find those chemical reactions, as they say, with pretty much anybody. Plus, he's got that great passing ability. He's someone who works with other people. He can score himself whenever he wants. I would say, even though Chigiri is great, it's got to be Bachira.
Bachira? I gotcha. So, out of Isagi and Rin, you chose Isagi. Out of Burū and Kunigami, you took Burū. Out of Nagi and Reo, you took Nagi. And then Bachira and Chigiri, you took Bachira.
In Burū, I actually picked Kunigami.
Oh, you picked Kunigami.
Yeah.
Pick Kunigami over Burū. That's not a bad selection in my eyes. It all comes down to like what.
It sounds like the season 1 team, but like if you had to think about it, they all kind of get along. And I think at a certain point, like speaking, if we're assuming Nanase is also a part of this team already automatically, like I feel like he could sync up with any of them. They discussed like Nanase's issue is he couldn't sync with Rin because Rin was just either thinking on a different level too quickly for him that he couldn't do it. Like he did a little bit, like his passing game was great, but like he can sync with those other players and make a full team. Even though it's Egoist, like I still view it as the teamwork idea works best.
Gotcha. That's all I really have. I was very interested about your choices because as someone who reads the series and talks about it through social media, both me and Ravin, we have our opinion, like what we think, who we would pick. So it's very interesting to hear someone who voices a character in the series taking it from like not just their own perspective as an enjoyer of the series, but also like from the mindset of like, okay, what would my character, who would they work with, who would they mesh well with, and just kind of overall another perspective is always interesting to hear, you know.
Yeah, if anything, like even on that concept, like I think again one of Nanase's strengths is his ability to get along with people. So even though there are people like Rin and Burū where you just think, oh, the compatibility isn't there, like they're going to be really self-focused. Like I think over time, Nanase would be one of those characters that could break them down and work with them outside of even most of the other players.
Yeah.
So I think over time, any of those teams will work, but I'm pretty confident in my choices overall. It's honestly probably the most popular players in the group, but you know.
Yeah. Raven, you have any other questions you want to ask?
I would just add this. Top 5 favorite characters within the series, just as a nice roundup.
So many characters, and there's
There
only gonna be more
is.
to
That's
come.
why it makes this interesting.
At this point, I would say, not in any particular order I should specify, but laced within that 5 list would be someone like Bachiro would be in there, Barra would be in there. I'm gonna say Shido at this point. There's not a whole lot about him, but I always kind of love wildcard characters. I'm gonna say Ego. He doesn't play, but he's such the linchpin for everything, and Derek Snow's performance is so captivating for him. And I'll cheat. I'll say Nanase, oddly enough. That's not biased at all, of course.
What's wrong with it?
Yeah. But again, I love the energy that he adds into it.
I got you. Well, those are all the questions that we have so far. Are you ready for the game show? Have you been preparing? You got your knowledge prepped?
I mean, not to say that I'm an expert in this series and know everything about it, but you guys prepare your pencils and take a lesson from me. By that, yes.
All right. Let me get this set up really quickly for the thing. But yeah,
It looks off to the side, seeing if anyone can help him.
Guys, do you have the cue cards?
Opens Google, gets the wiki up. All right, I got this.
What I mean is, you better bring your tissues. Okay.
You better bring your mop bucket because I'm about to wipe the floor with you.
Oh, cocky, aren't we, Ray?
That.
Cocky, aren't we?
I'm the undefeated champion. What can I say?
So while we're loading
undefeated until now.
While we load this up, I got one more thing I want to ask you, just more specifically about voice acting. Who is your least favorite character to voice? Not just in like, oh, I don't like voicing, just like which of the characters that you voice, you're like, I do not like this character.
So I guess that this could be multifaceted, where it's like, is this a question of the voice that's the most difficult to do, or just the character I'm like, oh, I don't really like being this person. I'll describe it this way. This character was one of the most fun characters to play, but he's also the most depraved. So like, it was one of those like, I really loved doing it, but I would never invite this character out for a drink. But I voiced this character named Roy in a show called Kamikatsu. It was a show that got a lot of attention when it came out a year ago, because it was a show that had such terrible animation to the point where you realized the studio was doing it on purpose. And it was a show full of depraved weirdos that all lived in a town on the outskirts, and their ability to isekai. And my character, oddly enough, was the most depraved sexual deviant of all the depraved sexual deviants in the town. But they did some really funny stuff with him. There's some pretty famous scenes with him on a tractor, which you can look up, and it's still funny to say. It's one of the funniest things I've ever recorded for, though. And I went balls to the walls. It was super fun, but it was one of those things that as I was saying some of the things I had to say, it was one of those things that I would look over the director, shudder, and just try to recover every time I said a line.
Like that. To me, the one character who sticks out to me is like, I don't like this character, Yamauchi, Classroom of the Elite.
Oh, but man, yeah, I can definitely see that. Especially with like the intention change when it went to season 3, and he kind of shifted from being just this kind of idiotic goof to being villainous, which I was so looking forward to. It's so fun to play that up. That episode where I finally got to reveal my card was a really fun experience. It was intense because it was a lot of intense yelling and things like that, but it is really fulfilling when you get to do it. And God, reading so many comments of being like, man, I'm so glad this character is gone. Like, oh God, he was the worst. I just think I did my job then. If I made him too
Yeah.
likable, then they wouldn't want him there.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're purposely trying to play like a certain role, it's best that you've executed what is actually intended, because this comes in like sports entertainment, kind of wrestling sort of talk. Sometimes the heels, the bad guys get cheered, and that's not the intent. The writers want you to boo them because they're the bad guys, and then you're supposed to support the faces. But like examples like I just named names, and you probably won't recognize them. But examples like CM Punk, even when he was a heel.
I know those guys.
Okay.
I know
awesome.
what I'm talking about. I know my shit.
Examples like CM Punk, or even just any character in which was predominantly a heel, people just started cheering for, and of course that's not the route. And then you feel like you're not doing your character good enough. But then again, it flips on its face, because then the writers are like, all right, we're telling you face, and then everyone loves you even more. So then you feel like you're doing your job right.
Then I feel like in any sort of like media production, especially when it comes to things like this, like so much of, I think what divides a good show to watch versus a bad one is how much you can kind of fall into the illusion of not thinking about all the nuts and bolts of it. So like when you're watching a show like that, you get past the point of thinking about, oh man, this is really good acting. Like you get into the character and you forget that these are performers. You get invested, even though you know in your heart that this is a performance. Like when you're able to take yourself away from it and just appreciate it without thinking about it, that's the ultimate goal. So when you're playing someone who's villainous, like you want people to have those moments of distinctly hating someone. So like it is one of those things that a lot of times in English voiceover, intention, it definitely has a big effect. So for me, like if I play someone like Yamauchi or Nanase or things like that, my acting philosophy a lot of times is trying to understand the character, and in the process, being in those performances, like I'm not, when you get to the point of understanding characters, it doesn't always sync one to one on how the Japanese do it. And sometimes in that case, like if we take Yamauchi for example, you don't always necessarily get a lot of those notes in listening to the Japanese. I wanted to add a quality that of sort of a sadistic ego at a certain point, the untouchableness of it. So like there's this release of frustration, kind of a bit of insanity and things like that, that isn't always necessarily present, but in tone, I wanted to display like this character's really kind of point the fact that he is been this unlikable person, or at the very least is self-conscious of the idea that he's eliminated. So he almost projects and increases his level of intensity and sadism. So, and there's a lot of shows where it turns into that, where it's like building that character. And I think once an actor is able to do that and display a certain level of confidence, then they blend into the background perfectly. And then you start seeing these characters as just the characters and not just the voice behind it or the intent. So like when I read things like that, and it's like, wow, like Sia Yamauchi, you were the worst. That is really fulfilling. But it's also really cool when you ever see comments where it's just like, oh man, everyone is in top gear in their voice acting in this. They're trying their asses off. That's also really fulfilling as well. Probably why I read comments, because I like to see what people think about that process. Again, I probably shouldn't do that because the internet can be a highly critical place, but I'm happy for the most part that people seem to like the amount of passion and energy I put into my performances up to this point.
Yeah.
You along with other Blue Lock have been the very like aspect in which I've definitely enjoyed. So I thank you for the amount of time and effort that you put into your voice acting craft.
Thank you. And it's one of those things that as we go forward and more opportunities come to really display, like we're going to really put more of our heart into it. The more show gets love, the more we love it. I think I mentioned yesterday to you guys that at a certain point, a lot of us actors that are now currently in this industry are not only just performers, we're fans. And so seeing the success of Blue Lock, seeing the success of what it brings all of our castmates, the way we're able to work together as this ensemble, it's a really cool experience, and it really lets you play and become these larger than life characters. So we're happy that everyone loves what we're doing so far, of course, for the most part, but most people love it, and we'll continue to do our best.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
All right. Let me pull this up. I will share it to screen share. Okay. Can you see this?
I can. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Probably not.
If you click like my window, or click it, it should be able to let you expand it a bit. I'm not sure exactly how it works. Raven, do you know how it works to expand that?
It's you gotta zoom in via the actual whatever web application that you're using.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's one of
Yeah.
those ones.
Yeah, it's weird.
Okay.
I mean, I can squint. I can read it fine.
I'll read it to you as well. So if you need me to repeat it and such, I got you. So this is the third iteration of Blue Lock I Hate You Jeopardy. It's called I Hate You Jeopardy because afterwards the questions are gonna make you say that you hate me. So going into
Question: what if I just say it anyway?
Oh, it's that then I did a good job because that's the intent of this game. So going into the game show, there are 3 categories. There are trivia, there are quotes, and there are abilities. You will pick a category with a point designation. I will read it to you, and then you take a guess as to what the answer could be. I'll explain what each category means when you select it. If you guess it right, I'll let you know. If you don't, we move on to the next person, and whoever gets the points, gets the points. You can't really ask me anything that I can really give you a hint. I will say all of this information is anime back. So it is all it's all information that will not spoil you for the current event, for the future events of the manga. That way you don't, get spoiled and you can enjoy the series as is. Is there anything that would need explanation? Do I need to clarify something for you or anything that
So
needs...
when we pick the question, is it one of those things that both of us have to somehow buzz in first, or is it one of those
No.
things that it's left us to answer, and if we get it wrong, the other person can try, kind of deal?
Yeah, basically that.
Oh, okay.
So you can take it. You don't have to speed guess. It's just it'll be your turn, and then it'll go to Ravin, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until that way you have enough time to think and get a good answer out. Like that kind of thing. Make it so it's simple and fun.
My last question is: when I inevitably win, where will you be sending my trophy?
I will. If you go to next time you go to a convention, let me know. I'll meet you at the convention with a trophy. You beat Ravin in Blue Lock Jeopardy.
Yeah, give me a golden headband. I think would be appropriate.
I'll get you a golden Nanase headband.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. So since you are the guest, I'll let you pick first. So pick your category.
Let's start off simple and go with trivia first.
Trivia 1, 2, or 3.
Trivia 1.
Trivia
Anal bum covers for 500.
So for trivia, I'm going to give you a statement about a character in the series, and you have to tell me who it coincides with. These statements will come from the official books like the Egoist Bible, the official manga, interviews, or any canon confirmed sources. But again, all of these contain no information about the future of the manga, so it's literally episode 6 of the anime back. So any information from that point back, that's where all the trivia information comes from. So it won't spoil you on anything. So, first one is, this character's favorite animal is a phoenix because it's on fire.
Favorite character is a phoenix because it's on fire. I'm going to say, what is Kunogami?
So unfortunately, it is not Kunigami. Also, you don't have to say the what is. If you just say the character, I'm not gonna.
No, that's more fun. To be fair.
Yes.
Fine. We'll do
What is Jaws?
What is the correct answer? You got it. No, but it is not Kunigami, unfortunately. So I pass it over to Ravin. Now you get to take a guess, Ravin.
My answer will be, what laid a shit in my pants? Ita Otoya.
Yeah, that is correct. So the answer is Otoya. So Otoya's favorite animal is the phoenix, and the reason for that is because it's on fire.
See, I had to send a layup to my opponent here. You know, it's kind of the sea biscuit trick. I got to be behind before I get ahead.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah, honestly, you eliminated the only other answer that I had. Like Kunigami, definitely a solid answer, and that helped me out.
I was 1 degree short of greatness, which is the best I can do at the
moment. don't worry, you'll have a chance now because now you're on the back end of this. Ravin, pick your category.
All right. To prevent you from going back and forth too much, I'll give trivia 2.
All right. Thank you. I did not want to read the quotes yet. This character was voted as the worst dependable boss.
Worst dependable boss. God, do I remember this? Worst dependable boss. I don't think I remember this at all. And this may fly like right over my head.
Oh, it's gonna fly over your head, or maybe it flies under your legs. Who knows? It's gonna fly somewhere.
Yeah. I'm going to say boss character. I'm just gonna say Oliver Aiku.
Okay, so unfortunately, Aiku is not correct.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know the answer.
All right, Travis, it goes over to you. Now, I'm not giving any hints, but the answer is pretty close to your heart. Sorry, did I say that out loud or was I thinking it? I don't.
Close to my heart. I'm going to say, what is Itoshi Rin?
No. Who's close? It's Nanase.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't. If you would have said he was my heart, that's different. I was like, well, who's close to Nanase?
Well, I guess
Nanase would be.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't say anything. You guys were.
You didn't at all.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
My former answer was going to be Wataru. My former answer was going to be Wataru because he betrayed everyone, but obviously that would have been even more wrong. So.
In fact, Aiku was voted to be like in the Egoist Bible there was a section of who would be the best and worst coach. Aiku was rated like the top of like he would be the best.
Yeah, I get that, but like Nanase, like I've never heard Nanase being referred to as like boss. You know,
he's never been in a boss position at least so far.
Yeah.
In the Egoist Bible, he was voted by the Blue Lockers that he would be the worst dependable boss, and he says it's okay. I'll try my best though. I'll do my.
It just seems rude, Egoist Bible.
Oh, there's a lot of weird things in the Egoist Bible. Like
you should read up on the first Egoist Bible after this season.
Yeah. If you want to know more, I'll send you my video. I covered all the information from it. Which had a bunch of stuff on Nanase too.
Seems like the score is neck and neck.
Alright, let's.
Is it?
It's close.
It's 1 point off with only 1 point on the board, I guess.
It's close. Alright. So it's back to Travis. Travis, pick your category.
Just because it seems correct and the right choice, I will pick Trivia 3.
Okay, Trivia for 3. This character is obsessed with Japanese actress Toda Erika.
And again, this is people that have been in the anime so far, right?
Yep.
Okay. That is a 3-point question if I've ever heard one. I am going to say, what is Reo?
Unfortunately, Reo is not correct. Reo's not a bad guess though. Like if aside from this main character, I'd think Reo would be the more correct answer, but apparently it's not. Like
I'm based on his characterization, where like I feel like with his upbringing, like he would have actor and actresses preferences and in this case obsessions and things like that. But guess not.
Yeah. Goes over to Ravin. Ravin, who is obsessed with Tora Erik?
I saw one of lean into like either the degenerate side or maybe the cultured individuals. And I wouldn't say Atoya again.
Oh yeah. Also, any of the answers are no repeat. So any character that was an answer is not a new answer. Just to
Okay.
give you that.
Okay.
I lost my Nanase freebie. Damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know this one pretty too well. So I'll just throw out a character in which maybe is like maybe hiddenly experienced. I'll say Nico.
So unfortunately, Nico is not correct. The correct answer is Hiyori.
Oh.
When I did Hiyori's Egoist Bible section, I'm pretty sure there were maybe 20 to 30 entries of like information about him. I guarantee you at least a third of them had in some relation to Tora Erika. Like
See, I wouldn't have guessed that with the character, but I don't know a lot about the character yet. But that's interesting.
I just didn't remember.
Yeah, it doesn't make an appearance in the manga. Like in no way would you assume it based on like his performance in the manga or the anime.
Yeah.
Like I guess he's obsessed with Tora Erika. But
It just happens.
whatever. My man has taste. It's fine. But we have officially finished one category with there only being 1 point on the board. Come on, people, get some more points. Come on.
I'm
Sorry,
charging my
making this
power
sense.
right now.
I'm making this close because this is just such a tough battle.
Yeah, these are the kind of battles that people love to watch in soccer where nobody scores.
Oh yeah, that's how it would be. So Raven, pick your category. Or no, it's your pick. It's your pick.
Yeah, it's my pick. I will pick abilities 2.
Abilities for 2. Let's go over to abilities for 2. So, let me pull this up on my phone. For abilities, I'm going to poorly describe an ability in a specific player's arsenal. You have to tell me who this weapon belongs to. Because some characters share the same weapon, multiple answers could be accepted. If you give me the exact character I have listed, you earn double points. So you're going to aim for the ability itself, but multiple characters could have a very similar ability. So if you guess the ability, you get the points shown. If you guess the specific character, you get double. So give me the ball and watch me cook. Unless I have to stop, then I can't do nothing.
Give me the ball and let me cook. Stopping it, of course, could align with like speedsters, but in regards to like multiple characters having the sort of speed ability, like Zantetsu's acceleration, Chiguri's a top speed. Loki is also like top speed, but also kind of a mix of both. But what else? Unless you have to stop. My brain's just going because would this be like multiple characters for an answer? I will go the safe answer. I'll say Chiguri's top speed ability.
Okay, so unfortunately that is not correct.
I expected so.
The ball goes back to your court, Travis.
Okay. What is Burū?
Burū. So here's his Burū. So unfortunately, that is not correct. The answer is Shiraryu's drive shot.
Oh. So this whole thing is that he ended up stopped moving because he'd be by the goal stop to be able to kick it in, but
the point of that is that Shido, if you give him the ball and he can't immediately shoot it, he has to pass it away. This was seen with like Atoya. As soon as Atoya came to press him, he had to give it away to Isagi so he could run, so we can move. You give him the ball, and he'll cook. But the moment someone stops him, he has to kind of reset his play.
I was just thinking Burū a lot because of his whole like charging play, and then as soon as defense hit him to where he couldn't do anything with Kunigami, like he just shut down.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad one, but the answer was Shido's drive shot. So the ball is still in your court though. You got more. You still got more chances. Turn some points.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yep.
Let's go to, for the fun of it, let's go to abilities 3.
Ooh, abilities for 3. All right. Looks like one thing is another. Doesn't matter. I got results.
Looks like one thing is another. Doesn't matter. I got results. Trying to think of the name of this character. Is it cool if I Google the name of the character? I'm not going to go, obviously, because it's vague enough, just because I'm trying to remember this character's
Go
name.
for it.
Yeah, go. Yeah. But remember, aim for the ability first and then do the character second. Your goal is to guess the ability, not the character.
Oh, I see.
Who it aligns with.
If it's trying to guess the ability, looks like one thing.
The character is just for the double points. So you could guess. You could guess Reen's like curved shooting. If any other characters have curved shooting, and you list another person, the double points would go to whoever you get, to the character, but you're guessing the ability itself. I will say all these. I'll give you this ability was revealed this season.
Oh, season 2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will say the chameleon ability of Rail.
That's a good one, but it's unfortunately not correct. It is close. It is close. It is a close one. Raven?
I'm going to guess Yukimiya's gyro shot.
That's also a good one. So the answer is Isagi's flow state.
Okay.
I won't elaborate as to why. It is a little bit of a spoiler, so I'll keep it brief. Isagi's flow state. Isagi's flow state. It's his flow state, yes, but it also looks like something else. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah.
You said we're getting points on at least these close guesses?
You're getting sure 10 billion points for Gryffindor.
Yes. Wait a minute, that's not me. Damn it. I love at the end of the game, it's like, you two played and the winner is Gryffindor. We're like, oh, we both lost.
10 billion points for the guy in the headband. Woo!
1 point for Hufflepuff. But Harry Potter successfully wiped his ass. 2 billion points.
Fuck you, Snape. Gryffindor won. So, Raven, pick your category.
All right, to leave quotes for last, so you do them all at the same time.
I don't like
getting in the mojo.
I don't like your Raven.
Abilities 1.
Okay.
1.
Talk shit, get slammed, bitch.
Man, bitch. God. Is okay, can I get clarification? Is the part of the ability talking shit, or is it as a result of you talking shit they get slammed?
I'll say this, the talking shit is not part of the ability.
Okay.
It's not Isagi talking shit to Burū.
Donkey. Okay, so is in a result of someone talking shit to this individual, they get slammed. Who could it be? In terms of like, I'm going to guess Burū's chop dribbling or chop feints.
So unfortunately that is not correct.
Yeah. I suck at this, guys. I fell off.
So the character that popped in my head, I don't know if it's an ability or not, but like the description of the events is one where I'm like, that could be them.
Think second latest episode. Sorry. Where did that come from?
I wonder where that came from. Jesus.
What
Sorry.
was that weird sound? I certainly didn't hear anything.
Episode 5. Sorry. I'm bad. It's bad today. Ooh.
Yeah. That's some cook.
It's so funny at all these hands and it's still just like, Kagome, and you're like, what the hell? He still gets it super wrong.
I'm in the same boat. I still have not figured this out.
Really?
And no, yeah, that may be stupid of me, but it may be very obvious. But like,
Oh, it
made it. I mean, the wind made it.
If it's episode 5, the only person I can think it's slammed. What is? I don't know their ability, but what is Sendo? He gets slammed.
Okay. I'll give it to you, kind of. So
The only people it was between Sendo and Oliver in my
Okay.
brain.
Do you wanna-
Oliver, I don't. They may have shown his technique, but maybe they didn't name it.
Okay. I'll give you the 1 point. So the answer was Aiku's dominant physicality, which is what
Gotcha.
which is more just less about his physical strength, but he used that to slam Shiro to the ground.
You know, the funny thing is that was my first guess, but I was thinking like they didn't name his technique. So
the reason I'm giving it to you is because Shiro also coincidentally has dominant physicality as a weapon.
yeah.
So
Awesome. Hey, we're tied. Hey.
Hey.
Such a close neck and neck. We're impressing the Blue Lock fans with our knowledge.
listen, you're doing better than Loki's voice actor Kevin did. He didn't even.
Yeah,
I think he got like
he's further
what,
along in the manga.
Yeah, I think he got like 1 or 2 points, and Raven had like what 13.
I don't think it was that much.
It was a lot.
But-
This is all my tactic, not only not scoring, but keeping my opponent from scoring as well.
I guess this just proves that Nanase Solo is Loki. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. This is confirmed, guys. Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down. The manga. The manga. Write that down. Write that down. Write that down.
The matchup is going to be crazy.
Oh yeah. So,
My ultimate fear at this point is how much clearly Raven has been wanting to do quotes, and that's the one where I'm like, uh-oh.
no, he does. He wants to do it because of how much I don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wanted him to do all of these in a row.
The
He-
quotes
he-
themselves
as
aren't
much-
bad. It's what
You take pride in this category, but you also don't.
I take pride because it's really funny, but it's super stupid. But
Okay,
pick
well,
a category. You have so many. You have so many options.
Yeah, it's my turn, right?
I think it's my turn.
Yeah,
because
it's-
I picked
it's Travis-
3 and then
it's
you picked
Travis's
turn.
1.
Oh yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go.
yeah. Okay.
Let's go middle of the road with 2 on quotes.
Okay,
Cute,
quotes for
cute.
2. Okay, let me explain quotes. For this category, I'll be reading you a quote from the Blue Lock series. However, it has been put through translators over 100 times, as well as put into a fancy English translator. Your goal is to tell me who said the quote, and if you want double points, you can tell me who the quote was said to.
Okay.
I find myself presently solely to repudiate. What? Hold on. How do I say the word?
Repudiate?
Repudiate the abhorrent ideology
Abhorrent.
Shut up. Abhorrent ideology espoused by that gentleman. Who said this quote? And for bonus points, who was it said to?
I'm myself present solely to repudiate the abhorrent ideology espoused by that gentleman.
Your goal for this challenge is think about a quote that's close enough, and then think about who said the quote.
I'm gonna say this is a wild shot on this one. I'm gonna say, are you? And I'm gonna say saying it to Bachira.
That's not a bad one. I could definitely see Audio saying it, but I feel like he would say the actual fancy English quote rather than the
That's fair.
Yeah. So
I just
unfortunately,
read gentleman as like glam. You know,
Yeah.
it could be somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But that was my
Unfortunately,
rough guess.
Audio is not the correct answer. So,
But so here's the thing: you said there's split points between who it's talked to. If we do manage to not guess the person who said it, but who it's said to, do we get points for that?
no. So it's like
Aw.
you
You
have
gotta
to
get both.
You gotta get the first one and get the second one. But you don't get. But you can't. If you get
Yeah.
the second one, you can't get them. Well, either way, they're
That's
both
fair.
wrong. But
Yeah. just in case.
yeah, you know, I need an edge here. Give me, give me.
To know how to simplify this would be the actual thing, right? So it would take my time to actually read the quote and try and translate it backwards in the process. Okay, so from this, I read. I find myself present solely to reputate the abhorrent ideology espoused by the gentleman. Basically trying not to match the ideology of someone else because it's not within their ideology. It's probably something like way further. Maybe that's an initial guess. But I could be very wrong. Gosh. I feel as if though when talking about ideologies, a lot of the time Rin would talk about this sort of stuff in regards to another individual, because Rin believes that it's like something stupid, something something that an NPC would say or whatever. I will guess Rin speaking to Shido.
Unfortunately, that is not correct. The correct answer is Kira speaking to Isagi in reference to Ego's philosophy on Blue Lock. Kira only joined Blue Lock to prove Ego wrong.
Okay.
I can see that.
Where the origins of the quote came from.
Yeah.
Almost forgot about that loser.
We all know Nanase solos.
Exactly.
Yeah, because where's Kira? Not in Blue Lock. Where's Nanase? He's still here.
Still in Blue Lock.
Oh yeah. Nanase got chosen. Either Nanase got chosen or Nanase's team or Nanase and his team were so good to survive. That just goes to show how good Nanase is.
Well, I mean, even to think like the second trial was him scoring like 100 points in like an hour or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, and so like we haven't seen him score yet, but obviously he's capable enough to pass to do that. So
yeah, like even Isagi struggled.
Exactly. There's more than meets the eye when it comes to Nanase, is what I'm trying to say. Just like me when it comes to this competition.
Right. Raven, you want one or you want three?
Do one so we can make it a wild card for the last one.
Yeah. That means like either one of us could win.
Exactly.
So we'll do one.
One, okay. Oh crap! Hold up, this one was harder.
I shall not acquiesce.
I shall not acquiesce to the entreaties of my honorable associates, nor allow myself to be submerged anew in the turbulent sea of their afflictions.
Turbulent sea?
Yeah, I made these difficult on myself. I can't even read them.
I shall not acquiesce to the entreaties of my honorable associates, nor allow myself to be submerged anew into the turbulent seas of their afflictions.
Right, Raven,
does that mean like drown? I assume that in a simplistic term that means like drown. So who references drowning? Should not let myself drown. we've covered quite a few like characters, and this is supposed to be an easy quote. I'm trying to think of characters we have had and doing like process of elimination. We still haven't had Rin, but then again, I don't think this is a Rin quote. God. Charlotte. I'm not sure if this is actually a stretch or not. No, it probably is. God, no, this is just tough. This is tough.
You said they were too easy last time.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, it was not really because like in actuality they were too easy, but it's just you can go backwards a lot with it. And I really don't know because I'm trying to think of like who refers to this side of things. IQ was already an answer. Is this Psy towards like the commissioners?
Is that your guess?
Yes.
So it is not Psy.
Okay.
Ball's back in your court, Travis. What you got?
Just wanted to throw a guess out there because I feel like I'd be stuck on this for ages.
The entries of my honorable associates. I'm between two people because I'm thinking I might be misremembering a quote from season 1. You know, I'll make the obvious guess. I'm gonna say Rin, talking specifically to Isagi.
So unfortunately, that is not correct. The answer you actually mentioned earlier was Kuon.
Oh.
And he was speaking to teams. He was like, "I'm not letting any of you guys drag me down anymore." After he betrayed them.
Oh yeah. I don't know for a second. Like my second option was Raichi because I thought I remember him just being like, "I'm playing for myself," but yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah. So we got one more.
It's all down to this.
Oh yeah, we got one more. All right, and Travis is your go first.
All right.
Because it's the last one, and because this is the tiebreaker, we're gonna go until someone guesses it right. So if it's wrong, it'll bounce to Ravin. If it's wrong, if Ravin gets it wrong, it goes back to you, and we just keep going back and forth.
Sure. Sudden death.
Although I feel like this one, I think Ravin might get it. I think Ravin might get it first. So, I stand as an epitome of excellence, the distinguished blank. Let this truth resonate in your consciousness from the moment onward, you inferior souls.
I stand at the epitome of excellence, distinguished. Let this truth resonate in your consciousness from this moment onward, you inferior souls. Has borrow been an answer for anyone right now? Or I think people have guessed, but I don't think it's actually been like a correct answer.
I don't know. That's borrow.
I will say borrow to. I remember the name of that character. It's another character. Search as a reminder. Borrow to Naruhaya?
Unfortunately, that is not correct. So Raven, ball's in your court now.
Okay. So, still going by like the process of elimination here. Stands at superior of X. Souls, beings, I don't want to mess this up because then it will just come down to a guessing game.
Yep.
I mean, this entire thing's been a guessing game, hasn't it?
Travis, you've been my toughest rival.
I don't know what to say, you know? Had to make this competitive.
So far, Ravin is undefeated in game shows. He hasn't lost a single one, I don't believe.
Yeah.
So you're the closest person to beating him.
It would be really unfortunate if I were to fail, but
I'm using my experience of getting second place in elementary school spelling bee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You get a participation medal, and you're just like, oh, wait, this was out of 2 people.
I'll take his ribbon, too.
Stand at the epitome of X. Oh, God, that line's gonna be fucking me up. Because at this point, I feel like he's baiting me to say Rin. Baiting me. And Rin's like a safe answer for like a lot of these cocky and arrogant quotes. God, I hate this. Season 1, Season 2, has there been any mention of certain characters, like, overall? No, this has got to be like Psy towards the U20 team, right?
Is that your guess?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not correct. Back to you, Travis.
Okay.
To take this off the board as the baited obvious answer, I'm going to say, I will say Rin, and I'll say it with his team, his first team during the round 3 selections.
So that is not correct.
Wow. Okay, so we got away like a lot of the arrogant speakers with Burū, Psy, and Rin. God, who says this?
I have one more guess, but it's not my turn.
Yeah. Who is this? Who is this level of arrogance? Question.
I think I know who it is.
Oh, he's thinking. Ravin,
you're pressuring me. You're pressuring me.
The correct answer is it's Ravin who's gonna say something.
Yeah, I'm literally going to directly say this quote, and then then it's me. It's me.
Hey, hey Ravin, can you do me a favor? Can you say this quote real quick? Just need to make sure.
You want me to say it?
I mean, no, but like, he might help you.
Okay, I stand as the epitome of excellence, the distinguished blank.
That blank is the person's name.
Okay.
I don't know if that was clear. Like the blank is.
Yeah. Let the truth resonate in your consciousness from this moment onwards, you inferior souls. God, I hate the way that my brain is not letting me think.
Your brain ain't braining today?
My brain ain't braining.
I'm using my powers to block out your ability to do this.
No! Stop it! No! Who? Okay, and then it comes down to who talks in the third person.
A lot of characters.
Quite a few characters. I mean, especially during like internal monologues. This sucks. I gotta know this. No, please don't leave me. No.
All right, Raven, you have a guess?
I really don't.
Do you want to pass and then
I-
come back, or?
Nah, because my rival Travis could get the answer.
Without
I
my
failed.
knowledge.
But okay, the characters I would guess, and you giving me the pressure of saying like this is a character I would get, leads me to think of characters in which wouldn't say something like this, because it's just so arrogant. Okay, I'm going to. This is going to be a throwaway guess. I'm going to guess Raichi towards Isagi and Ikiguri during training.
That is not correct.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh, that was going to be my guess. So that changes things. But it is in my court now to see what I can do with it. The pressure is on. I stand at the epitome of excellence, the distinguished blank. Let this truth resonate in your consciousness from this moment onward, you inferior souls.
So what were your guesses? We had Baro, we had Rin, we had Sai, we had Raichi. I think this is the 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So it is none of those characters.
These are much more difficult. I'll be honest, because I'm just trying to think of every fucking Blue Lock character.
I will also say
Well, at
sometimes
least season 2.
quotes have turned into monologues. So it could be a monologue.
Yeah, but then again, I'm trying to think of characters who would even say this in their head.
Boy, this is tough.
That's what I'm saying. Because then you can't. Yeah, it's just. Oof.
I'm trying to think of someone that has the ego to them, but also it tends to insult everyone around them too. And also people we haven't, or that have been eliminated in the process. This is going to be a stretch. But was it Wanima to Team Z?
It is not
One of the
Wanima.
twins?
It is not Wanima to Team Z.
Okay.
Raven balls
Just worth
back in
a
your
shot.
court.
I don't know what to do with this ball.
can throw-
Do I pass it? Do I shoot?
Only what happened to strikers? Strikers score goals, don't they? Take the
I
shot.
want to win with my goal.
Score. Come on, bro. You got-
Bro, what the? Okay, it's not Rin, not Sai, not Baro, not Raichi. Someone arrogant, or someone with like an arrogant self monologue. So that if it is a self monologue, it eliminates 2 characters because we don't even hear self monologues in a lot of characters. Blah, blah, blah. Parasu. I'm not even gonna guess. I'm not even gonna guess towards because it's not.
It is not.
whoever guesses
It is
this
not
wins.
Karasu.
Okay.
This is gonna be processed until we eliminate every other player.
Yeah, I know. This. I don't know why this is. So
I really
difficult,
thought you guys
but it
would have
is.
got this earlier.
Really?
Oh no.
With the okay, so with the context of this quote, it's just I'm thinking of arrogant characters.
I'm telling you nothing.
Yeah,
Because if I tell you the character's personality, kind of opens it up for him. What are your thoughts? What you thinking? You got any? Also, keep in mind, people in the chat, this quote has been put through a fancy English translator, so it's a lot. It sounds a lot fancier than it does in the actual manga. It's a manga quote that's been turned fancy.
This is gonna be a wild shot answer just because I think it'd be funny if this character said it this way, but Igarashi.
It was not Ikiguri, no.
that would have been funny.
Oh God. Oh,
At this point, it's become such a mud fight and process of elimination. It's like whoever wins, it's just like, we did it, kind of.
Would this even be a win I'm proud of? Probably not.
Okay.
Because
Let me give you. I'll give you a hint.
Aw.
I'll give you a hint. Okay. This line comes from a character. I think.
Try not to make it too obvious.
Who has had speaking roles in this season?
So this season.
Who has had speaking roles this season?
Wouldn't be Rin, Shido, Atoya, Karasu. I wouldn't even think it would be Yukimiya. Yukimiya is way too humble for that. I can't ever see. Well, it's obviously not Isagi. Not Baru, not Raichi. Wouldn't be Gargamaru.
But again, this is a fancy English translator. The quote could just be could be simpler, but it just got turned extremely prim and proper.
I don't think any of the characters because most of the characters I just mentioned have already been guessed for previous questions. So, it's predominantly in this season.
Animasu, you're in the chat. Message me your guess. I'll tell you if you get it. Because he's in here trying to play the game too.
I'm going to guess Reo.
You guess to who?
To the basically that shouldn't matter anyway.
That's bonus points.
To the T. Well, it is an internal monologue.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It's Reo.
Damn. I didn't defeat the undefeatable.
I'm gonna be honest. That was hard.
That was a mud fight.
I'm surprised you guys didn't guess Reo. Like he had a lot of overconfidence when he first came to Blue Lock, and he had.
I think there's just a lot of characters that are like, I'm the best, and you should all bow to me.
But
like, there's so many characters that do that.
The epitome of excellence was translated from I'm the super elite Mikage Reo. So it got translated to as the epitome of excellence. I don't know,
because Reo has dwindled in confidence since season 1. And I know it's been a recent build up to what he is now, but like, Gerd. I apologize to people in chat. That took quite a long time.
Oh yeah, that one question took 15 minutes
for an hour.
That one question took 15 minutes.
Yeah, when you said it's something I could guess, I my mind went to Nagi, but I was like, Nagi won't ever say something like this. Not even close.
Well, the points were pretty close, honestly. Closer than last time. It's 4-1 Ravin, which is not a bad showing. I mean, some of these questions are a lot harder, especially for someone who hasn't seen the game or had to get the rules explained to them. Like it's fresh to him, so he did pretty well, honestly. But let me see what
it was hard. It was hard to me, and I have a channel. I research this stuff for like a part-time job.
Let's see.
Sounds like I need to start a channel with my 1 point based on technicality. I think I have what it takes.
Just only study the physicalities of Blue Lock players.
So Loki's voice actor didn't get a single point, and Ravin, you got 5.
Oh, so you did better.
Yeah,
Travis.
Hey, exactly.
Nanase solos.
I'll be known as the expert coming forward. If you have questions, I will answer them to the best of my abilities. I mean, if he needs proof of the skill that I had, my last guess was the worst character in the show. So.
Who were you gonna guess if I got it wrong?
I was gonna guess Isagi because I thought possibly there are those moments where he switched to being pretty egotistical.
Yeah, there was no repeat answers, and Isagi was already answered for the flow state.
Yeah, I had no idea to remember that, but yeah. And then I was thinking, I was like, well, Rhea was already picked, but I guess he wasn't.
Rhea was guessed, but never an answer.
But yeah, that definitely came down to a process of elimination for sure.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys did enjoy the game show, though. I hope you guys did enjoy it. And it was
I hate you.
For sure.
Yes.
I think I've proven that I would have won if I felt like it.
Yeah.
But
true.
You know,
True.
you got to keep the undefeated streak alive. You know.
Yeah.
Just so whoever ends up beating you like becomes that much bigger within the fans' eyes. For now,
like the biggest threats, in terms of like if we were to ever get voice actors on, the biggest threats would be Isagi's voice actor, because he's literally caught up to the latest chapter of the manga.
if I'll be honest with you, I think the person who would actually do the most competition is Davon Oliver, who plays Atoya.
Really?
That guy's an encyclopedia on Blue Lock.
Well, I'm gonna reach out right now. We're gonna get. This will be fun.
Is there any way we can reach out to him? That because I may lose, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's not up to me, but yeah, I mean, if there's one person who I think would stand the best chance, yeah, as you mentioned, Rico's up there, but like Davon knows tons about that. He's a thorough manga reader, so he knows a bunch.
Okay,
oh, really?
Keep that in mind.
That'd be interesting. Just to close it off here, is there any place you want our community to go check you out? You have socials that you want us to plug for you?
Most of my social media is under T Mullenix, TMULLENIXVO. You can find me on Blue Sky, or Blue Ski as I like to call it. You can find me on there on Instagram, and you can find me unfortunately on Twitter as well, but I'm there too. And yeah, I post regularly about some of the roles I end up working on and voiceover stuff, but I'll also post random philosophical conversations and pictures of my cat, so it's a good variety.
That's the best thing to do.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining us on this live stream.
Thank you for having me. That was a lot of fun. I enjoy shooting shop about a show that's as cool as Blue Lock.
Well, I'd love to have you on in the future if you're available, and stuff happens that would be very interesting for conversation. Maybe after season 2 is done, get your full final thoughts, especially with Nanase's, scoring 1,000 goals against the U20 team as he does.
I'm so excited
to talk
about doing that. It's one of those things. He's just standing in the corner repeatedly kicking it in while people are like, "Stop it! You're breaking the rules." No way, man. This is how I do it.
Have you seen Kuroko's Basket?
I know of it, but I haven't watched it.
All right. Nanase from the back corner is gonna take a shot and score a goal. He's gonna make it from all the way opposite side of the field because he just has insane aim. My man will never miss a shot ever. He will make 1,000 goals.
I'm just thinking of that scene. I'm just thinking of that scene in The Office where they have that karate competition and just Michael Scott's like repeatedly punching Dwight's character, going 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, and just over and over again, just kicking it as close as he can to score 1,000,000 points. His value increases.
Ego said they had 3 subs. They're gonna use all 3 subs on Nanase. He's gonna run and just kick Aiku in the shins, and then just immediately run off the pitch.
That's his technique. He can split into 3 people and play every position.
Oh yeah,
that's a power move right there.
But yeah, thank you again so much for joining us.
Sure thing. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Ravin, anything you want to close out?
To close out, you were my toughest combatant yet.
And I'll be your toughest combatant forever until Davon shows up.
Yeah, until Davon. Now you have me scared.
You should be.
You should be. Exactly. But be prepared, because
Is he like your protege? That's what it's building up to.
if anything, like if he does beat you, I'll just be like, listen, I was the first place loser, okay? I did second best, which makes me first place loser. Now, if you can make me a thing that says that, I think I at least deserve some sort of ribbon that says first place loser.
If I ever meet you in person at a convention, I will give you a little ribbon with Nanase's face on it, just like cheering, just like yeah,
and his eyes crossed.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
But yeah, thank you again so much for doing this. I really appreciate you taking the time. This is a huge honor and opportunity to be able to do this. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, wholesome.
Yeah. Ravin, you ready to get into the chapter?
Yeah. Okay, so this is where we shall depart.
Yeah. The easiest way just for it to end, just a quick like if you just close the browser, it'll disconnect you. That way you don't have to worry about. There we go.
Nope. There you go.
Yep. And then you just.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. I'll let you know at least if it gets the end of the season. Just get a hold of me. I'll let you know if I'm available to do this again, and I'll be hopefully more prepared for your quiz. But
you were doing more important stuff. D&D is definitely worth the time.
100%.
But yeah, it was good talking to you guys. It was fun.
Thank you so much.
I'll speak to you guys next time whenever that happens.
Yep. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
See ya.
All right.
So Ravin remains undefeated.
Yeah. Yo, he wasn't even a challenge. Okay. Bro, that sucked.
Did you? Let me ask you. Were you legitimately struggling, or
There was a few questions where I was like, I'll get this wrong for content, but that last quote, fuck me. I didn't know.
I thought you were gonna get it super easy. I mean, it's legitimately just like. It was just Rao. Like, I thought out of any of them, you would have guessed Rao. I would have assumed Rao.
Yeah, but it's just like, Sai wasn't mentioned, Rin wasn't mentioned, Burū hasn't been mentioned yet. Like, you go through the obvious ones, and then you're just kind of sitting there like, huh.
Now, I'm a little bit... I don't want to lie here. I'm a little screwed.
Yeah, but either way, like that level of challenge just means I have to do more research and preparation, because I come into these things like with no prep, none at all.
Oh yeah,
I just wing it, and now I'm realizing that won't cut it if we get like someone who actually is up to date with the manga.
Yeah, do better, Ravin.
Yeah.
Do better.
Meaning skill issue.
Oh yeah. But that was fun. I enjoyed it. I think it was a. Want to head back to the Discord thing? And then,
Oh yeah. Well.
Sign here.
Do you need Streamlabs anymore?
Well, it's just a matter of like your avatar will be moving. We were only in Streamlabs for the event itself.
Yeah. Okay. Well, up to you.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't care if you want to go back to there. I'll just unmute.
All right. Whoa. Hello.
Hello. Alright, let me pull this up. I gotta pull up the chapter stuff. You gotta humor me because I gotta.
Okay.
Apple juice. Fuck.
Shit. This entire time, also I've been just putting the Searching Sparks cards in my new binder. So if you're wondering whenever I just like was delayed in saying something, it was because I was focused on counting where the cards go in my binder.
Are you like one of the people like to organize them like by set?
Well, I don't know. Well, any set in which I get right, I will obviously put all of one set in one binder. And of course, if it has any extra space for another set, I will continuously do more of that. But in the grand scheme of things, I do. So, for example, I bought this binder for Surging Sparks, and I'm posting basically all the cards in which I've pulled so far. And to follow that is, of course, maybe another set that comes after Surging Sparks, in which I'll put in that same binder, and I can package them up as a multi-deal, basically.
Gotcha.
I have only one specific binder dedicated to Pokemon 151. And then I have a binder dedicated to resets, which is Skull and Violet, Paldean Evolved, and Obsidian Flame. Then I have a binder dedicated towards Paradox Rift, and next was supposed to be the fucking Fates one. I forgot the Fates. It's the the shiny ones.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I hate how fucking Ragnarok Scans makes you watch a 30-second ad just to read a chapter that I can read in less time.
My friend, skill issue.
I know, right? When problems arise, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. Boast Gusters.
Okay, counted that. 5, 6, 7. No, I'm counting these out loud as I'm doing them. All right, I got quite a few trainer cards for my things. Any cards I'm missing? And I'm just going to separate the energies. Oh yeah, got that. Have I already got Dragon Elixir in here? I do. Put that to the side. Energy. I already got this Lively Stadium. 74. I usually struggle with collecting trainer cards, but I have just a lot of them.
Really?
Yeah, trainer cards are like some of my most uncommon cards that I can collect because for some reason they're rare whenever I open up a pack. And in this set, there are specifically rare trainer cards, which is interesting.
Interesting.
Chat's probably like, who the fuck cares? By the way, you got a $2 donation for the movie.
Oh, thank you.
It's Misters. Oh no, Mrs. Eternal. Misters. I can't.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Yeah, I do. Dark. There we go.
What is happening?
I don't know, man. Like every time you start talking, something happens.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
I ain't afraid of no ghost. Ghost!
Mom, why is there a ghost?
Mom. All right, that's all the basic cards in my binder. I bought 2 elite trainer boxes. I've told you, but I've told Jack.
Those are all my basic bitch cards.
How long did your Kaiser tattoo take? It took a sitting session of 6 hours.
Did you pass out at all? Like, what did you do?
No.
What did you do?
I just sat there clenching my fist.
For like 6 hours, you just sat there doing nothing except clenching your fist? That sounds incredibly boring.
Well, there was a break in between at the I'm pretty sure the 3.5 hour mark where the dude tattooing me was getting lunch or getting food. But yeah, I pretty much sat there clenching my fist for 6 hours.
You weren't like on your phone at all? Like,
oh no, there was a TV on, so we were watching football.
Ah, well, that's something. Like,
yeah. Yeah, tattoo experiences are like odd, right? Because you would focus so much on the pain until you're kind of your body's getting used to it, but then you get that slight sore spot, right? You get a slight sore spot, and it just hits you. It hits you. Like my sore spot, my sorest spots were the tricep or the elbow. The elbow fucking sucked. Never get a tattoo on the elbow.
Well, I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, I'm telling chat as well.
Oh. Well, imagine. No, I'm only getting elbow tattoos so I can look like I have shit. I have shin guards on. I have not shin guards. I have fucking elbow pads.
I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think you could even handle it.
Oh no, I'm a bitch.
It's the sharpest pain just directly on a bone ever.
Yeah.
I would have cramped. Yeah, I mean, because of positioning my arms in different directions, because it was all around the arm, not just in one area.
Mm-hmm.
My arm didn't cramp up. There was a consistent level of blood flow constantly going through, which was good. I needed that.
All right. So Enemasu got the translations for me. That way, that's what was taking a little while. But anyways.
Okay, thank you, Enemasu.
So, thank you, Enemasu. I love you. Anyways, so the opening tagline is the chapter is titled "Field Attack and Defense." Page 1 starts with the opening tagline that says, "Rain and Isagi face off once again. A limit-pushing one-on-one battle begins at the goal." Raichi screams, "Stop it!" and Shido says, "Seriously." And Hiyori says, "Please make it in time, Isagi." As Isagi appears in front of Rain, he says, "Come on, Rain, let's go." As Rain rushes past the two bastard defenders, and Loki says, "Go, you new superstar." And Isagi says, "You want to destroy me and win, right? You want to win and destroy me, don't you?" So, just of this, like up to this point, I thought it was like this panel was probably the most fire panel we had in the entire chapter.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, we just also got it from Shadow in high quality, and it looks beautiful. Like,
I'm of that opinion, right? Double spreads, fucking usually the cleanest thing I've ever seen in Blue Lock.
Sometimes they're a little off. It depends on how they're arranged, but
it's a perspective thing. But
yeah.
Like usually double spreads of matchups are usually always a hit.
Oh yeah. Sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're bad, but they're usually like they're better than they are bad. Most of the time. But they're like this. That's probably my favorite double spread in a while. But anyways, we continue with Rain and Isagi going at each other, with Rain continuing to chant, repeat Isagi's name. Isagi sticks his leg out to try and block Rain from pursuing one route, but Rain decides, all right, I'm gonna go the opposite way. And his eye vision vortex thing appears again, with it actually going into his Solera, whatever the hell it's called.
Well, some people like call it Ultra Instinct.
Yeah. Like, what's the white part of the eye? I mean, what's the white part of the eye?
The white part of the eye?
Yeah, like you have your iris, you have your pupil. What's the white part? So it's Solera or something like that, right?
Let me guess.
Let me guess, Googles.
Let me guess. No. Let me guess.
Oh, I also have to change the layout of the stream.
Conjunctiva.
Really?
Conjunctiva?
I don't think so.
It should be that. Well, it's probably not how you say it, but.
Oh, no, but like it's conjunctivitis and stuff. But like, is the white part of the eye really called conjunctiva? I thought it was called like the Solera.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are calling it the Solera. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, Rain and Isagi start going at it, with Rain's vision starting to come back as they match up. But Rain manages to beat Isagi and fires an insane shot towards the net. Isagi failed to stop Rain. But that's not actually what happened, because he's like, yeah, Rain, I made you do that shit. I don't care if you destroy me so long as I win, so you better fucking be there, Kaiser, as Kaiser pulls up from out of
Kaiser,
nowhere
you better fucking be there, you stupid bit.
to stop Rin's shot. A genius times genius chemical. Talented learner can talented learn a chemical reaction or a chemical reaction between Kaiser and Isagi, which the Kaiser manages to block Rin's shot. Now, I saw a lot of people on social media saying, "Oh, Isagi's evolution was useless. Isagi's evolution was useless because he couldn't stop Rin." Does no one have any reading comprehension? Like,
Well, we've already talked about this with Anamasu.
yeah.
Like, this is the type of player that Isagi is. And if you guys can't understand that, how have you read through this entire manga?
Yeah. Not just that, but didn't he also legitimately say, "Yeah, I'm discarding like my rivalry with Rin and my ill will towards Kaiser." So he doesn't care if he has to work with Kaiser anymore, and he doesn't care if he beats and if Rin beats him.
Kaiser may feel the opposite way. And he's doing this purely because he doesn't want to lose the game. But this is less of Kaiser working for Isagi rather than much rather Kaiser is helping Isagi. Kaiser himself doesn't like accepting help, but he's willingly helping Isagi.
Yeah, I feel like they're just trying to win. They're not trying to beat each other or beat anyone. They just want to win the game, which is what they're going for.
Yeah, if they truly have gone back to zero, then that should be their primary focus.
Yeah, like I don't know why people are like, "Oh, Isagi's gonna beat Rin in the 1v1." No, he's not. Like, the only reason I ever said he was gonna beat Rin in a 1v1 was just him blocking a shot, not actually like stealing the ball from him. That's the only way I ever said that he's gonna beat Rin. It's just by blocking a shot, which like blocking a shot and beating him in a 1-on-1 are not the same thing.
Yeah, you can imagine, right? Isagi at some point, of course, will be individually on par with Rin. But this is all physical specs wise, and Isagi's always been on the lower end of that. It would make no sense that Isagi is better in terms of physical specs than Rin, who Rin trains just as hard, if not harder, on every aspect of his of every one of his football specs. So for Rin to lose in the physicality battle of keeping the ball, maintaining the ball, would make little to no sense, even with Isagi's latest evolution, because the latest evolution of Isagi is not really a physical enhancement, or much rather a mental enhancement.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. People are just like, eh. I don't get people sometimes. But anyways, Kaiser goes to block the shot, but he realizes that he didn't block it fully because the block wasn't solid enough, and the ball still is traveling towards the net. Kagamaru's like, "Please don't go in," and it fucking does, because nothing goes right ever. But you know, the goat himself launches in to block that shit because he's literally a Himothy.
Yeah, he's literally the only thing that goes right.
Yeah. So he managed to block it and sending the ball out of bounds, with Bastard getting the turnover. Or not the turnover, but PHG's gonna have it, but Bastard kind of won the play. This is their chance, because realistically, I think Loki is definitely more threatening to Bastard than Noah is to PHG right now.
Yeah.
Because it seems like they're kind of handling each other, but I think Loki's speed and willingness to help everyone else, as opposed to Noah, is what's giving him the edge in terms of deadliness and problems. Like, no matter what you do, Loki can just come in and steal the ball, and then instead of trying to get away from Noah, he's just going to pass the ball to Rin, who, like, you just have to constantly play defense at that point. But now that they're gone, it's kind of one of those situations. Also, with the Master Strikers going off, who do you think is subbing in place of them?
There's a pass of pass usefulness for Nero now, because Loki's coming off.
Yeah.
Yukimiya seems like, of course, the most logical person to come on.
Yeah, I agree. I'm like, put Yuki in for Noah. He's a right winger. It's a perfect position for him to play, especially with Sword Screw now. Like,
yeah, and I believe people are saying like, oh, Kanagami, redemption, blah, blah, blah.
He's
No.
burnt. He's done.
He's burnt. I think Kurona has likely gained the stamina enough to get back in.
Not in 3 minutes.
But I either believe that or with the team now rolling back to Kaiser.
You think they'll put one of Kaiser's like Grim back on?
Maybe, yeah, probably Grim. But then again, I feel like those characters are done, so it has to be Yukimiya and Kurona.
Yeah.
Or
No,
Yukimiya or Kunigame.
I think Yukimiya. I think Ikiguri will stay on as. I don't want him to, but I think we'll just keep him on as extra. Like since he did stop Rain,
Yeah,
I think he'll keep him on as extra turns.
That's to say if Igaguri
Yeah.
does get subbed off, but I don't
Yeah.
think he's getting subbed off.
No, agree.
Yukimiya is the only logical option.
Yeah,
of
I think
someone to be coming on.
Yeah, I think the logic behind that is coming from like, Loki was able to stop a Kaiser impact, but now that Loki's not on the pitch, Yukimiya can have a lot easier time hitting a gyro shot since the Kaiser impact's just basically the gyro shot, just faster. It's pretty much the same thing, kind of. With Loki not being there, it's a lot hard. Not a lot of people aside from the goalkeeper would even really have a chance to stop the gyro shot. So I think that's kind of their offensive. Since it's the last play, put Yukimiya in for offense and shit, rather than have him on defense.
Yeah.
That's what I see happening.
It's hard to judge, right? Because we're clearly within Nerugo left back and Kuro goes midfield. So Scythe. Well, that's if Ikiguri gets subbed off, and I don't think he will be. If Neru does come onto the pitch, it's just kind of like what? Because he's a character in which we've never focused on. It's unfortunate because he does deserve to at least play a bit, but like I think that's going to be the result of most U20 players. Like they don't get to play at all, and only IQ and Sendo are going to get through.
Yeah. It also comes down to position. Like Noah's a winger. I wouldn't put Neru in a winger. And who are you gonna move up? Igaguri? Like Hiyori's already left. Hiyori's already on the left wing. Noah's on the right. Ness is in the midfield. Kaiser and Isagi are playing center forwards. Like unless I wouldn't, and Corona wouldn't be playing a winger because Corona doesn't do any like offensive stuff on his own. He would play as a wing back. But you're not gonna move Ikaguri up. Like there's really, unless you move Kiora to winger, but I don't know why you would. I don't think you're gonna move Kiora there because Kiora hasn't done anything. Where is he? Where is Kiora? Honestly, I'm trying to think about the last time we saw him. Was it after he gave his assist to Kaiser? Did he just like borderline out?
No. He Rin matched off against him and Rin got past him. That's the last time we saw him.
I don't know,
Which
man.
is kind of funny.
I don't think Kiora will go up. I think it makes no sense to throw Yukimiya there. Have him like you have Hiyori on the left wing for dribbling. You have Yuki on his pass. You have Hiyori on the left for his passing. You have Yuki on the right for his dribbling and shooting. Isagi has those as his new wings and shit. I think it's
what a weird time, ain't it?
Yeah,
because now we're awkward. We're in a really precarious situation now.
Yeah, it's a very awkward point. The match is being very drawn out, which I get. It's the final match. It's going to be more intense than all the other ones, but like, I feel like there's not a lot. Like they could have ended it.
My one criticism is that this chapter could have benefited from the star exchange actually not being so little, and actually
so having more time.
Having more time, but then of course the counter attack would actually make more sense. But I guess they want to remove Loki and Noah from the pitch before the final goal to not influence the like Loki being removed is evident.
Wait, my question though, how did 59? There was a minute left on the timer at the beginning of the previous chapter. Goes through. Loki's running up the pitch. He goes to start fighting against him. Noah shows up. He starts dribbling somewhat around Noah. Loki sends a pass to Green, who's up there. Green runs around Ikiguri. And then gets to right where we are now. That couldn't have been a minute.
Well, hey, kind- they're just making it convenient, I guess. I get why Loki's coming off, right? Because they don't want to dampen his accolades leading into the U20 World Cup arc.
Yeah. Also, Angelic Demon, you said Isagi's power up disappointed me. No, it did exactly what it was supposed to. You just do not understand his evolution. You were just hoping, you were just expecting it to do something different.
You have the right to be disappointed, but it's intentionally not supposed to be a physical attribute buff.
Yeah. You're disappointed because
that's how
of,
you interpreted it.
you're disappointed because of it not matching up with what you were like. Oh, it needs to do this and crap when that's not what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, you will expect it to do something, and when it doesn't do that, you're naturally going to be disappointed. But realistically,
Your expectations.
This evolution will only be amplified the more training, physical training that Isagi does. So realistically, Isagi just gotta work harder in order to make the full use out of this new ability. True flow state.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know why there's only 10 seconds. I don't think 40 seconds should have passed. Less than a minute, I guess. It was more like 50 seconds. 50 seconds shouldn't have gone by from Loki's Godspeed running down the pitch, sending a pass to Rin running around Igiguri, and then Isagi showing up. There's no way 40 seconds happened then. There's no way.
That's what you think. In any case, yeah, as I was saying, makes sense to why Loki's getting subbed off. They don't want to dampen his accolades, and also, I was of the opinion of Loki scoring the final goal would kind of be a deal breaker, because it's like you're leaving it up to the Blue Lockers, right? It's a Blue Lock culminating NEL arc. I know the influence of the Masters is there, but I would much rather have a Blue Lock result rather than a Master result.
Yeah. To run up a whole fucking page. This is Loki. This is the guy who outsped the Kaiser Impact. Like, I guarantee it doesn't take him a minute.
Inhumanly fast. Loki's inhumanly fast. This has already been clarified. He's inhumanly fast.
Yeah. Also, I get people's opinions are valid. That's cool. But when you're saying it disappointed you, your expectations are wrong. Your expectations were placed in the wrong area.
Said that.
Someone else was Eternal was commenting. I'm like, yeah, sure. People's opinions are valid. Cool. But that doesn't mean that your opinions are also wildly unrealistic. That could still be a thing.
In any case, I rated this chapter an 8 out of 10. I really like it.
I think so.
It's purely because like I appreciate Gargamara getting his moment. I appreciate them executing Isagi's ability in a correct manner, in my opinion. It may be disagreed amongst people, and that's completely fine. But I believe this was the actual combination in which was definitely the most redeemable.
Yeah, I think this is a great way for Gagamaru to get his value increase after not really doing a lot since then, since fumbling Shido's.
I want your prediction of Gagamaru's increase of value. I already have mine, but I want your prediction.
What's he at right now?
I'm pretty sure
32.
32? Yeah.
Is he at 32?
32.
32?
Yeah.
I want to look at everyone's values because I want to see where I think he'll be put.
I have my prediction in my latest video, so I'm not gonna give that away.
What chapters did we get the final stuff? I think it's 246 where we get the final values. Yeah, okay. So Gagamaru's 32 million. I think. Here's my thing. I think his block is at least worth 20 million. I mean, he blocked a ball that he saved the ball that was basically already in the net.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think at least 20 million he deserves. But like looking at it, do I think I put it like this? Do you think Karasu's play for his performance is worth an increase of 15 million?
What would that lead him to be? What is he currently on?
He's currently sitting at 35 million, so we put him at 50 million. Do you think that Gagamaru's value should be just above Karasu? Gagamaru is
Yeah.
only 3 million less than Karasu right now.
I think in terms of like literal game impact, Gagamaru with that one save has impacted the game more than Karasu this entire game.
Yeah.
And that may seem harsh, but
Gagamaru made one
saved the game, and
Gagamaru made one save, stop overrating. Bro, he saved a shot that was in the fucking net.
Well,
That's an insane feat. The ball was okay. Let's put it like this. The ball was basically in the net while Gagamaru was in a standing position. He was able to react in time to get behind the ball and smack it out. That's an insane.
By the way, stop overrating him. He hasn't had shit in a year.
Yeah,
Not overrating at all.
His three.
To be honest, that is a wild take.
I'll put it like this: who am I overrating him in relation to? Fukaku, the guy who hasn't blocked a single shot on his own. Sendo, the guy who's blocked more shots than Fukaku. Who am I overrating him next to? Cool, that's his job. Yeah. So we're saying he's doing
his job well.
Yeah.
He saved the game.
Yeah, that's his job. He's saying he's doing a good job. Therefore, we're not overrating him. He's doing what he's supposed to do. He saved the game. That deserves a 20 million increase.
Go tomorrow. Literally, go tomorrow.
Let's put it like this: what was Gagamaru's value prior to Uber's? Where do we see that value thing? Where do we see the
like
value?
a manshine?
Mm-hmm. Where do we see? What is it? Was it? Would it be 20? No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be 203, right? Oh, no, 204 when he was with Noah. Right? Yeah, when he's with Noah, he finds out the values. Gagamaru had 20. Gagamaru, his save of Baro's shot only shot him up 4 million.
Yeah.
That's wildly stupid. Stopping the Blue Lock's top goal scorer with a shot that has been unstoppable before only shoots you up 4 million.
Can I like throw this out there? I feel like on average the goalkeepers are going to be like less valued by a considerable margin. Unfortunately.
But that doesn't make sense though. He got 28 million for blocking Rayos.
I know. And Rayos was a worse shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
It doesn't make sense.
But this value should increase should be the equivalent of his first one or something around that.
Yeah. Well, he got 20. He got 20. Here's the thing. You say 20 million for one save as criminals or he got 28 million for blocking Rayos Trivella. That was it.
Bidding amounts are inconsistent. You can say like he doesn't deserve this or doesn't deserve that, but he's achieved more than 20 million for a worse save. Like, not to say the save was bad, but it was just by comparison not as like climactic, not as dramatic, not as impactful.
Yeah, like blocking Baro's stealth kill shot. I think because of Baro's reputation and his place on the ranking of being number 1, you're stopping the top goal scorer in all of Blue Lock. You're stopping the number 1 currently in Blue Lock, who in his first game scored a hat trick, and whose shots are pretty much unstoppable from what we've seen. You're telling me that Gagamaru only goes up 4 million from that, but stopping Rayos copied Trivella shoots him up 28.
There's also in real life logic, it still doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to clarify. Bids of course get slower, lowered to the amount of like the further you go up. So of course your first initial bid is going to be like one of your highest, unless you do something completely different within the next game in which shows off more of your performance. But you basically if you're not doing anything too different in comparison, your bid won't go up by too much. Is why Burū doing the same shit only got a increased bid of 20 million or no 30 million for 2 goals in which he pretty much scored the exact same way. But naturally they also know what to expect. Like Burū before that didn't get a bid. and then they saw him score a hat trick and were like, oh damn, he's a really good goal scorer. We'll give him 100 million. That's his initial first bid, and then from there it's become lower because they know his performance and also know what to expect. Pretty much putting his cards on the table already, which therefore only leads to a lesser and lesser bid increase, which is why he went from like 100 million. So of course 100 million plus added to his original salary of 0. Then he got a 30 million increase from 2 goals, then a 20 million increase from 2 goals. That's naturally getting lower with the same performance. It's not going to be the same all the time.
But the one outlier in that, Isagi.
Yeah. So Isagi actually does things different in every single game. That's why he actually gets a higher bid. So, like, for example, he starts off as pretty much a good representation of a midfielder. Then even more so in the second match against Manchester City, whilst also posing a dominant threat as a possible goal scorer. But since he hadn't scored a goal, he wasn't valued as high, so he only had 50 million. But he significantly bumped up from 17 million from the previous match. Then he got a 100 million increase because not only did Isagi score, but he scored with a new discovery of a weapon and a insane chemical reaction with Hiyori, getting 2 goals and also outperforming Kaiser within that match. Not in terms of like one-on-one individuality, but like outperforming him in terms of goals. So naturally speaking, that makes a lot of sense. He did new things. He achieved 2 goals in 1 game and showed off his ambidexterity ability. It makes sense why he bumped up that much.
Zoro, you make the exact same point I was thinking. That this would mean, if by that logic you want to say that's true, that could all be disproven by the results of this final game. If Isagi increases to 100 or more than 100, all of your logic goes out of the window because it makes no sense. Because Isagi would be showing exactly what he did in Ubers right here in this game.
No, not really.
What has he done? What has he done different in this game?
2-gun volley, and then of course the result of this last goal would actually be one of the most important within the series because it's the 2 undefeated teams going up against each other. That's the logic.
Look at so the twin-gun volley. That's not really an argument you can really fully make.
That is an argument. That is an impressive goal.
Baro's double nutmeg goal against Kaiser and Isagi. That plus another goal only shot him up 30 million.
Yeah, but then you have to consider they lost the game. So, therefore, his bid initially goes downwards because he lost the game.
So, what if Isagi loses this game?
Then he won't get as high as a bid.
So, you think if Isagi doesn't... So, do you think if Isagi... Whether Isagi scores or not, do you think he's taking number 1?
No. He has to score in order... and this was my prediction from the NEL bids. I believe at the most, Isagi will tie with Rin. Otherwise, Rin will be on top.
Okay. I really hope they don't tie. I think if they tie, that's such bull. Let's see.
I believe it would only make sort of that amount of sense. But 2-gun volley is a new variety of goal scoring ability. Yes, he already showed off his ambidexterity, but it was the actual technique and performance of the goal itself that was completely different to the last game. So that was new. And now, of course, we see his new discovery of true flow state and being able to compete with the likes of Rin, who was giving every player on the team a hard time, and then, of course, working with Kaiser. If he does score this final goal, I believe Isagi deserves around the same amount of bid that he got from Ubers.
So let me ask you this then, if you're about that logic. Take the whole thing like you show more of what you're able to do. That provides a significant increase. That's why Isagi went from 17 to 50 to 150.
Mm-hmm.
Why, for example, is Nico shooting up a drastic amount from where he's at right now? Like, he was at 23.5 before Ubers, and right now he's at 40.
Okay. Well, we didn't see the performance in which he did to the fullest extent, so you have to probably give an example of characters that we've seen the performance of. So I can't really comment on Nico.
I'm just saying, like Nico, only thing he did different was reveal that he had metavision, but that was only to us, and he only stopped one play. Aside from that, he had no real important pivotal role that's anything different.
No,
but he's so
the match in which he increased in a bid was the final game against Manchester City.
You do have a point.
So we didn't see that.
What was my argument before? Oh yeah, the 20 million isn't that drastic for Gagamato. I think a block like that, like are you telling me that Gagamato should be ranked lower than Karasu? Like fans?
Never.
No. Like on the ranking, you think Karasu contributed more of value than Gagamato? Which, by the way, I think the goalkeeper should have a significant value increase and should be weighed a little more. Like, I mean, if you could block the shot, like, sure, you have all these strikers ranked highly, but if you can block their shots.
Like, there should be more of a value to a goalkeeper, because realistically, I know logically speaking, the goalkeeper's value is actually less so of importance compared to like the majority of players, mainly strikers. Because you can pretty much put anyone in goal, and defenders would actually ensure most of the responsibility of making sure the ball doesn't get to the goal. But Galgamaro should be put at a higher value purely because he is a goalkeeper built for goalkeeping.
Yeah, like
he's shown incredible feats, and also like in terms of what we saw in this chapter, reflexes that are pretty much almost instantaneous.
Yeah. Like,
which is insane.
Especially being able to react from a standing position to block that shot while it's like over halfway to over the line.
Like most goalkeepers aren't conditioned to do that in real life.
Yeah,
some people react on like pure reflex.
What is it? Kagamaru's 5th game as goalkeeper ever? No, 4th, because he didn't play the first game. 4th. This is his 4th game ever as goalkeeper.
Yeah, he didn't even expect to play as goalkeeper going forward, but he was just happy to play. And you can't say that he hasn't been getting better. Would you label
Gagamaru as a genius or a prodigy or talented learner in this instance?
Talented learner.
Talented learner? I'd say genius. Gagamaru isn't training his reflexes like that.
No. So, well, he fought animals. So I argue differ. I believe he's at the point where he's at because of his life experience.
I think you could argue both. Like, he could just have naturally good reflexes.
Yeah, but I'd argue he of course he has the reflexes and the flexibility and whatever, but that's through his experience as a individual who wrestles fucking bears.
I mean, he was raised. Apparently, he was raised by.
He's a bear, never lost against a bear. I should point that out. He's never admitted to losing against a bear, so we can only assume that when he wrestles a bear, he wins.
Yeah. Can we put it that Gagamaru would beat Shido then? I don't think Shido could beat a bear.
Yeah, this is then the argument. Who would win in a fight? Gagamaru would probably slap a lot of people's shit.
Yeah, honestly, Gagamaru. I don't think he beats someone like Aiko.
Goalkeepers are genuinely like the more intimidating players on the field besides defenders.
Except for Fukaku.
Yeah.
My man's a little teddy bear. He's a teddy bear.
If I was to go back and see Onyx's like top 10 strongest players video, I'd put Gagamaru on that list.
Yeah, I would put him there too. I'd put him in like top 5, maybe like just below it, maybe like 6.
Wrestling a bear is fucking insane.
It is.
You can't deny that. And as soon as I hear he's wrestled a crocodile, it's done. He's number 1.
Soon as I hear that he went and complained about his food to someone, I'm.
And that dude's cooked.
Like, if he gets, Gagamaru is so strong that when he gets a wrong order, he confronts the person about it. Gagamaru
is so strong. People apologize to him when he's wrong.
Ego type doesn't make someone a talented learner or genius. It's just talented learners or geniuses usually have those ego types. Ego type doesn't determine whether you're a genius or a talented learner. Being a genius or a talented learner usually determines what your ego type is. It's like the rectangle. It's like a square. It's like a square is a rectangle, but a rectangle is not a square type of argument.
I swear this is a video that you should make.
Probably.
Because you usually do these kinds of videos.
Yeah, but I don't want to.
I feel like you should.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should suck my balls. How would you like to suck my balls?
Mr. Garrison.
Mr. Garrison.
But yeah, I don't think it. At the end of the day, I don't think it's too far fetched for Isagi to hit 100 mil if he does score.
I don't want him to. I don't want him to go.
Yeah, but there's a difference between don't wanting to and then the logic not lining up. The logic lines up.
I don't want him to hit over 100 mil. I don't want him to go past 250. I think if he goes past, goes up again.
I said 250. Tying with Rin.
I think 250 is fine. I think Rin has a better chance of going up more.
Oh yeah. I would believe yes, but at the same time factoring in the fact that he had an illogical goal where he gave up an obvious goal scoring opportunity, that probably turned a lot of people who are offering off. Just because I don't want someone like that on my fucking team.
I think I know. I just can't thought of this. I think I know what's gonna make Easy win, and he's gonna hate it because it's not his own thing. It's the fact that he worked with Kaiser right now. This chapter confirmed it. Before, they dedicated basically half of a chapter to the fact of Isagi and Kaiser working together. Same thing with that same half a chapter was for Igaguri. Igaguri subbed on. Look at like this. If Kaiser and Isagi had been shown working together, that was the main issue that the community had, that they're great players. But if they start working together, they're insane. Isagi performed a twin gun volley. Kaiser performed his Magnus, yeah. But now they had a moment where, like, after Kaiser went back to 0 before Kaiser scored his Magnus, it looked to the outside, it looked to, like, even Hiyori that their playstyles are, like, mixing together. So, like, this performance right here of Isagi using himself as a sacrificial pawn for Kaiser to come in and stop him, that, to me, in the perspective of the community, so, like, how I think the community would act, I'm pretty sure they would be like, holy shit, they finally started working together. Like,
but I don't think if Isagi's going back to 0, throwing away his mouse for Kaiser, I don't think he would be mad at the fact he got as high of a bid from working with Kaiser.
I think I think it's a matter of like he didn't fully earn it by himself, which it's not gonna like, oh my, I hate this shit. It's just like that kind of takes me off.
Yeah,
it
does give him a new it does give him a new goal. Basically, he would reevaluate himself. It's like, I wasn't able to fight on my own this time, but soon I will be able to.
Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a video this off time when the U20 is done, when the anime is done. I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna be like, I want to do a ranking Blue Lock 11 performances. So like, or ranking Blue Lock performances in the U20 game. So I would rank all of the players who participated during the U20 game. So like the Blue Lock 11, Shido, and then the 3 substitutions, and rank them based on their performance in the game. Of who I think did the most versus the least. Which, honestly, thinking about like Isagi, I would put him like bottom of top 5 maybe.
Fair enough.
Like Rain and Shido are definitely in the top 5. Who would you put? Who else would you put there? In the top 5.
Well, it depends on the development of Manshine City that I could put like Nagi or Bachara up there.
In the U20 game, during the feats of the U20 game.
Oh, just okay.
Like how well they performed during that game. Who I'm putting Rain and Shido are at least in the top 5.
Well, Isagi was number 1 according to Ego.
That's bullshit.
I mean, I never thought that was far fetched because he was literally the control variable to how Rin got into the position that he was in.
That's fine, but I don't think that I'm going also based off of Aiku. Aiku didn't even consider Isagi a memorable piece of the puzzle. Like
until he scored. My ass.
Yeah. He said Isagi, Aryu, Nico, and Gagamaru were the only ones that he didn't consider to be a starving beast. Which I'm not denying. I mean, he might be the bottom of the top 5 because he kind of was the catalyst. But I think every other player that actually scored goals and had other significant impacts were better than Isagi just kind of being there.
Yeah. Out of Blue Lock, Rin's first. Purely from a narrative.
Shido's 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, Shido's 2.
Shido's 2.
Shido's definitely 2.
I could see you saying Baro 3.
Baru's 3. Number 4, I put Isagi. Then 5, I would put
4 easy.
Either-
4 is not bad.
I would either put, weirdly enough, like you could say Nagi, right? Because Nagi's one of the other goal scorers. But
I'm putting Rayo.
I honestly think outside of that goal, he didn't do much. I would say Rayo.
Rayo copied Nagi with this jumping turn trap shot for defense. He kept Shido basically on lockdown for when he was there.
Yeah.
Who else really? Honestly, think about it. There's not a lot of significant plays.
Yeah, Bachata would be the
Bachata-
only other person I'd
yeah.
consider because he was able
No.
to almost completely annihilate the team.
Honestly,
But
I would swap.
He lacked a significant striking weapon, which didn't lead him to a goal. But
I think Isagi at 4, Bachata and Rayo. You could argue back and forth who deserves to be in 5.
yeah, like Nagi could also be in that argument, but he realistically got 1 goal and that's it.
Yeah, he drew first blood, which is definitely a very impressive thing.
What else did we expect from Nagi though? I love Nagi, and I just wish to see more of him because I don't know. My opinions of Nagi have been diminishing the more time I haven't seen him. Like the episode Nagi manga is cool and all, but like we're not seeing an up-to-date Nagi with his current developments.
Yeah, we need some.
It's kind of it's kind of a turn off.
He's using the episode Nagi to hold us over on our want for Nagi, but it's doing the opposite for me. Like I want him in the main. I want him in the main story.
He's an important attribute. He just needs to be around. That's all.
Yeah. It's just disappointing, man. But that's pretty much all I have to. Oh, actually, no, we had the episode Nagi manga to go through. Think about it. We actually have the episode Nagi manga, so we actually have something to talk about. Some more stuff to talk about, which is interesting.
We're gonna briefly skim over this.
Yeah, have you read it already?
Yeah, I mean, I was with you on that stage.
Oh yeah, we were reacting to it together.
Yeah,
have you read it? Have you read it in English?
Yes, I have.
I have not.
L plus ratio L plus. I've been looking at Surging Sparks all this time.
I'm not surprised.
The elite trainer boxes have really cool promo cards.
Girlfriend picked them up already. She's waiting.
Mine UK gets the short end of the stick, so mine's getting delivered whenever it actually comes out on Amazon.
I gotcha. All right.
I could have bought it in person, but like it would have been around the same time.
All right. We'll read through this quickly, then we can give our thoughts at the end of it. All right. So Bato says, "All right, let's get the last one," and Otoya says, "It's still 3-3. We're still tied." I went the wrong way. Nagi says, "This reality doesn't fire me up as the kickoff begins." Zantetsu says, "Turn the tables." Chigiri says, "Let's bust on through," and Kodansha says, "Just try it, you mediocre dumbasses." Kodansha sends a pass to Kiora, and Kiora uses his dribbling to break past Nagi. Bato comes in, but Kiora is able to chip it over to Aiki, who chips it over again immediately to Kiora again, but Karasu is there, and Zantetsu runs in to try and steal it, but Kyora's like, nah, and sends a pass to Karasu. He leans back to take a pass to receive the pass to shoot, but then Chigiri speeds in to grab it. Karasu says he's not going for a goal. He's using up all that speed while on defense. He's almost out of stamina. That's probably his last sprint, and he used it to win. He killed his own ego. And Chigiri sends a pass to Zantetsu to get your ass up there, Zantetsu. And Zantetsu says, super speed counterattack. Time for the best that I can do right now. Aiki and Otoya come in, and Aiki says, stop them, and Otoya says, 2-on-1. And Zantetsu says, the best that I can do now. And he sends a pass to Nagi. And Nagi says, it's open, a pass to Bato, and he uses this 2-stage fake volley as a passing thing, and sends it over back to Zantetsu. Otoya says, what? Damn it. And Kiora says, a midair feint. And the ball flies over towards Zantetsu, and he says, the best I can do right now shot. And he takes a shot towards the net, scoring a goal. Chigiri screams, yeah, we scored, and Zantetsu says, the tables are turned. And Bato says, just one more. And Nagi looks bored as hell. Aiki says, "Hey, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna lose. We're losing." Kiura says, "Damn it!" On the Mr. Cliff's edge.
Damn it.
And Karasu says, "Sorry guys, my read of things was wrong. With all the egoists here in Blue Lock who rely solely on their own skills, I never expected them to suppress their own egos so much to focus on winning as a team." And Aiki says, "Yeah, I guess I underestimated them." And Kiora says, "Same." Otoya says, "They've driven us into a corner." And Karasu says, "Yeah, but thanks to that, I can see a way to win this make or break match. Lend me your extraordinaries, your extraordinariness, ordinariness. What is extraordinariness? It's a weird word. Also, when you have to have like this much space, 2 fucking dashes, it's wild." Nagi says, "At this rate, I guess we'll win. I guess it'll end without me ever getting fired up. Do I really need Isagi around to get fired up?" As the kickoff begins again. Kodansha sends a pass to Kiora, who continues to do 1-2s between the players. The ball goes under Aiki's legs straight to Otoya. Chikuri says, "What's with them? They're not like before. They have the ball, but they're not trying to attack." Bado tries to press in. He says, "Tricky bullshit. Did you lose your nerve? Come on, damn it." And Kodansha says, "As if, dumbass. Y'all only ever have enough stamina for one more goal, right? You're charging at us like you're ready to end this match. If we dodge it and pass the ball around, we can shave away at your stamina. This is our fortified siege defense formation." And Chili says, "This is some high-level ball keeping." And Zantetsu thinks they're going to chip away at us. "I'll go in now." Zantetsu rushes in towards Kiora, and Kiora says that chivalry is a bad move. He sends a pass over to Karasu, and Chigiri tries to press him. And he says, "No, I won't let that sprint go to waste." And Karasu sticks his arm out and says, "Oh, have you noticed, redhead? Your first step is 0.4 seconds slower than that at the start of the match. Your speed, you won't make it with that mediocre speed." And Chigiri says, "Karasu, he's picking up on minuscule changes that I haven't even noticed myself. His observational skills are monstrous." And Karasu says, "It's times like this that I wish I could be a striker hero, but getting heated up doesn't suit me as well as staying cool. When it comes to facing reality, I'm way ahead of you dumbasses." Nagi says, "Here it comes, it's an attack." Aiki hits the ball back to Karasu, who says, "I'll become the anchor and suppress my ego to control this game. That's the best way for us to win. Y'all made me realize that my cool-headed personality, which keeps me from getting heated at crucial times like this, and this habit of trying to understand people's intellectuality, all of it, this is what makes me extraordinary." He says, "All of this comes from my ability to stay calm," as Otoya launches over Karasu's shoulder, and he says, "I like that about you, Karasu." And Karasu says, "Shut up and score it, you goofy ninja." As they replicate Chigiri and Zantetsu's parkour shot, with Otoya kicking the ball towards the net, scoring a goal. And Nike says, "Alright, let's go." Kiora says, "Tied on the borderline." And Nagi starts to realize something. Chigiri says they found a way to deal with our plan. And Zantetsu says, "What the heck do we do now?" And Zantetsu says, "Hey, are you okay, princess?" And Chigiri says, "This strategy won't work anymore. We need to think of another approach." Chigiri starts panting. Bado says, there's nothing else. We've got to push through. We'll start the ball next, so we'll attack once and score before they can seal it." And Sansu says, "I see we have enough energy to go all out once more." And Shigiri says, "Well, I guess it's the only way. Got it, even if my legs rip off. We'll give this next attack everything." And Nagi says, "No way, I'm sick of this method. Let's change it up." And Bado says, "Do you have a better idea?" And he says, "Nope, but if it's the last time, I want to try something new." Bado gets a little pissed off and grabs Nagi and says, "Get real, moron. An opinion without logic just sounds like that of the whining of a stray cat." And Chigiri says, "Hey, Bado, chill." Nagi says, "But it doesn't feel good. I'll be bored even if we win this way." And Bado says, "You think you get to choose how we win? You ain't looking at reality, so shut your trap." And Nagi says, "I just saw reality. I thought maybe that method would let us win, but it didn't work. If we try to face reality and play logically, we'll never win against Karasu. We can't win by looking at this reality. So let's win with a dream," Nagi says. "You guys want to go towards what fires you up, right? You want to be the world's coolest idiot, right? You want to crush our worst future, right? Whether we win or we lose, this next goal will be the last time the four of us fight together." And the chapter ends with Nagi saying, "Let's live in a dream," as we say bye-bye. So that's the chapter. So,
Yeah.
what did you think overall?
Pretty decent.
I'm gonna be honest.
The art is immaculate as always.
Yeah, it's great. I feel like for there being 2 goals scored, I feel like this is one of the more chill chapters. Like, I feel like it was more slow and it felt more monologue-y than actual gameplay, even though there were 2 goals scored and there was gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this match is long overdue. The next chapter is obviously going to be the culmination. So this December, we're gonna get a final chapter.
Yeah.
Of this match, and then we can move on to actually seeing how they handle the World 5.
Yeah, I'm very interested in that. But yeah, that's all we really have for today's stream. We've been going on for basically 3 hours. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And yeah, anything you want to say?
Man, I'm dead.
And Ravin, you're dead?
Yep.
I'm dead too. Alright. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. I hope you enjoyed the interview. I hope you enjoyed the chapter review. I have a video going through the chapter again, my own predictions, theories, all that stuff that goes up tomorrow. I think Ravin has one as well. Go watch his as well as mine.
I don't know if it'll go up tomorrow because we're not including like the spoiler leaks, but I know we have like stuff as placeholders. So that may come out on Tuesday for me.
But yeah, please, when his video releases, go check it out. He makes some great videos that, despite us talking about the same thing, he has some really unique opinions I like to hear, so I know you guys will too. So, I will see you guys in the next stream. See you tomorrow for my video. Go check out Raven's. Go check out his channel. It's linked down